Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 5th All Hands podcast. I am your facilitator, Devin Rogers, and today we have Matt Mann.
Hello.
And
good to be back.
Onyx Franciscini.
Yo.
Before we get started, a couple items. We're got a new locale today, so thank you, Matt, and thank you, Ashley, for giving us the ability to do a little traveling roadshow here. And also thank you to all of our subscribers, everybody who's watching. We had a huge explosion from E3. Mm-hmm. The reception has been incredible. We didn't anticipate getting that much support so fast. We actually were hoping to get there by the end of the year, and we're almost double past what we thought we'd have by the end of the year. So
TGR's legit.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun, and we hope to continue growing the team. So thank you. We're going to start things off with a really quick icebreaker, and then we'll get into the meat, because there's a lot of meat in this sandwich today.
Hi, Ron Swanson.
Yes.
All right, guys. If today was the end of the year, we're at the end of 2017, and we're talking Game of the Year awards, what would be your Game of the Year for 2017?
You already know yours. Go ahead.
I'm very, Nier Automata. It's a heck of a game, man. It's an experience. Play it seriously. It's so good. And that's what I'll say.
All right.
I want to hear yours.
For now, it's Persona 5. I have not beaten Persona. I have not beaten Nier. Nier is getting close.
Yes.
It's getting close, but Persona 5, I've put way more hours into that, and it is undeniably quality.
It is. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little tougher for me. You guys are very obvious on this. I think I have to go Zelda.
Ooh, Breath of the Wild.
Well, because it was the first, but it was also probably still the best. And while I still haven't finished it, man, it was a breathtaking experience. I was tempted to go with Prey, but Breath of the Wild is.
Prey's a great game too.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if all three of those will still be contenders by the time we get to the end of the year.
I think all four that we mentioned there are going to be contenders at the end of the year.
They'll still be contenders, but it's more so like, will they still be
top 5?
Well, I think
there's a lot coming out.
There's a lot coming up,
and we'll get there. Yeah. It's coming up later in the podcast. Okay, so let's jump into this month's gaming resume, and I will start us off with the cover letter. All hands panel. The month of July seems relatively barren when compared to the rest of the year. While many will no doubt be excited for Splatoon 2 and Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, there is another high-profile title gamers shouldn't exile from their playlist. I love puns, by the way. I am the third release from a small developer whose previous titles have received critical acclaim. Having been described as a mixture of Rocket League and Dota, one of my goals is to encourage players to reflect on failures brought about from the choices they've made. Though I feel the team behind my creation has long progressed beyond their rite of passage, it remains to be seen if the gaming community will give me the attention I feel I deserve. Living for giving the devil his due, Pyre.
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 So a little bit about Pyre, and then we'll jump into the conversation. Pyre is an action RPG developed by Supergiant Games, who previously had done Bastion and Transistor. And Pyre releases on July 25th on PlayStation 4 and Windows PC.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like a PS4 console exclusive then?
For now it is.
Wow.
I would imagine it will come to at least Xbox at some point.
Wait, is that through Steam? Or does it not specify?
Probably.
From where I got my Wikipedia info, it did not specify.
All their previous releases have gone through Steam. So.
I would imagine it'll be on Steam.
Yeah. Okay. If it's not a Windows exclusive, it's...
Yeah, well, if it doesn't say exclusively Windows 10, it's not through Microsoft's crappy store.
Okay. Before yesterday. I had no idea this game even was in development. I've only played Bastion, never finished it. I own Transistor. I've never played it, but I do plan on playing it. Watching the footage that's out there, the game looks good. I had no idea this thing even existed. So seeing like the art style, which really, really grasped me, it looks incredible. And the battle, like the combat system, if you want to even call it that, it looks very unique, which makes sense because all their games have had a very unique combat system. I'm intrigued, definitely.
Yeah, I think there's a lot they're not showing. There seem to be some very interesting little things they hinted at in that trailer beyond just the actual actiony gameplay. Have you guys played Banner Saga?
A little bit, not a lot.
Oh, I think I know what I'm gonna make you play when I win our
Banner
cast.
Saga.
That would be a good one actually if you haven't played it. It seems like it has a little bit of that going on. There's kind of an Organy Trail sort of overworld thing going on there, and it's got this beautiful, very Banner Saga like 2D art style with the dialogue system, which I mean, games is art. Like I know this table appreciates that more than most.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I'm interested to hear. I mean, if it's Supergiant Games, I think we already know what a lot of that resume is going to be like, but I'm interested to hear what the team size is like and you know how long they've been working, because it was kind of hidden in the shadows.
Yeah.
When we looking at some videos for Pyre last night, one of the things that stuck out to me was there seems to be a focus on literacy. So it sounds like one of the major plot points is you as the player character know how to read, and the other team members that you party up with, they make you what's called the reader.
Right.
And a lot of the dialogue in the game, as you're reading through it, will have hyperlinks on certain words, and you can hover over the hyperlink and it will give you some more background and information about the terminology. And when you were talking, Matt, about the overworld, it sounds like you do battles during the day, and then at night you have to, as you're moving on the overworld, you have to stop and camp out overnight. And I think one of the things you can do is you can teach your party members how to read, or you teach them words and terminology. I don't think gameplay mechanic-wise you're actually teaching them that, but lore-wise you are, and that is what increases their abilities and skill sets and progresses their characters. So I thought that was kind of an interesting mechanic.
Absolutely. Very unique. Yeah.
So, Matt, you mentioned team size. Supergiant Games is a relatively small team. They are made up of 12 individuals currently. And from what I understand, when they made Bastion, they were a team of 7. Those same 7 people worked on Transistor, and they're working on Pyre now. The way they worded this on their website's a little weird. So they said they had 12 people for Transistor, and the team size did not change for Pyre. And the way that was worded leads me to believe that some of the team members on Transistor left the company and some new folks came in. I don't know who those people were, but because there's only 12 people, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to list all their names. Let's just say all their names. And for the sake of ease, we're just going to assume that the last game they all worked on was Transistor.
Right.
It doesn't make for a very long, lengthy resume, but got to give credit where credit is due, right? So if any of you 12 are listening, I am going to apologize for butchering your names because it's going to happen. So here we go. So Amir Rao, Michael Eilishi, sorry, Michael, Gavin Simon, Camilo Venegas, Darren Korb, Morgan Wren, Gen Z, John Paul Gabler, Greg Kasavin, Josh Barnett, Andrew Wang, and Logan Cunningham.
It sounds like a really intriguing like D&D party I put together or something. Like it sounds like a bunch of cool I want to know more.
Treehouse Woodfist coming to I don't know. D&D, whatever.
Treehouse Woodfist.
I think that might have been a character in Prey. Spoiler alert. So the last game they all worked on, allegedly, I don't think they all did, but most of them, was Transistor. It was an 83 average critic score, and Bastion, I believe, was an 89.
Oh,
It was
very
very high.
It is renowned among the game community.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that a small team made such a critically acclaimed game, and then that same core stuck together, and they've grown. But it's really the same group. It's not like when we did Ukulele and we were talking about Rare. The folks at Rare, I mean, Rare's probably a much bigger company than Supergiant, but they have grown so much over time that you can't even say that the same people that worked on GoldenEye or the same people that worked on Donkey Kong Country worked on Ukulele.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not Rare anymore; they're ex-Rare employees. But
Right. Yeah. Well, there's still, I think there's a purity of purpose and design, and their success has not altered that path for them. They want to keep doing what they're doing and innovating and bringing a breath of fresh air, which I think that's what really defines them. Transistor, Bastion, both are familiar and yet so unique. And like you were talking about with the vocabulary thing, like they're taking things and not just going like slight tweaks on them. They're taking them and going, how can we make this compelling in a new way that's not just a recycle? I apologize. My dog is very protective of the podcast. We may have a couple edits in here where we have to cut her barking out.
no solicitors at this company. Right?
Oh, that's true. She's like, get out of here. We won't take your advertisements. But yeah, so it is cool. I agree that they've managed to stay sort of in that tight-knit core. You know?
And you could tell that they're bringing ideas. Again, I never actually played Transistor, but in Bastion, they kind of had a narrator pretty much the whole game, right? Just narrating actions and things. And it looks like in Pyre, they're doing the same thing. So I like that. That's kind of like, that's their thing. And they've kept it up. Again, I don't know about Transistor, but I can see they're doing it with Pyre, too.
They're very character-driven. There's a lot of voice and personality there. Like, they come up with these interesting mechanics, but their games are as well known for the personalities of the people involved as they are for having unique mechanics, right? Like they kind of bring all that stuff to the table, you know, in the best way possible.
Definitely.
One last thing to mention about this game that's been in development for 3 years.
Wow, 3 years.
Yeah.
Is that when Transistor came out?
I was going to say, Transistor's been out for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
It's probably been about 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think Transistor came out on PS Plus like summer of last year.
Yeah, it's been around.
So
Yeah, which...
it's been a while.
Yeah, okay.
I want to say Transistor was one of the first games announced for the next generation of consoles, like at E3. I think at E3 2013 is when Transistor was shown off, so it probably came out either 2013 or early 2014.
That sounds about right, yeah. That's a few years old. I remember when I'm pretty sure brand new that game cost like $20.
Yeah, it was...
That's their... Small team, they jam them out. They don't charge a lot for them.
If Pyre's $20, which I didn't look, I'm all in.
It probably will be.
For sure.
It probably will be.
I'm pretty sure at full price, Transistor's a $19.99 game.
Yeah.
And I feel like Bastion might have been too.
It was. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see because I think now that they have some clout, I think they probably have the ability to charge a little bit higher, and they should.
I would pay more.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it goes without saying, must hire. Absolutely. I will play that game, and it's crazy to me that you brought that up, and I hadn't heard anything about it. Like, that's the kind of resonance that has with me. Like, I'm gonna play it, for sure.
I'm not sure if it's a must hire, because there's so many other things that I'm going to be playing, like Splatoon 2.
Right.
In the month of July. However, it has intrigued me from what I've seen. I watched a 20-minute gameplay video, and I was just... It looks very unique. It looks like something that I would actually really enjoy. So it's caught my interest.
It's funny that you mentioned all the stuff, everything, all the other games that are out there. I think that's why releasing in July is so good for them, because there isn't a whole lot coming out in July. Right. At this point, everybody is saving the big titles for like October.
Yeah.
October is just ridiculously stacked.
Yeah,
and then on either side in September and November, there's a lot of games coming out. even in August, but July is relatively barren. Like you, I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy 12.
That too.
So that's going to take up my time. But that said, I feel like I need to make time for this game somehow. Yeah. It would be, regardless of what's coming out, this is a must play. You guys got to go play Pyre without us having played it. Based on everything we just talked about.
Yeah, that's true.
It may, you know what? It may be a good sit down after work and play it for an hour kind of game too.
Yep.
It may not be one of those things that you have to invest a ton of time in.
Right.
Now they said, when I was doing my research for this, it said that they were trying to include multiplayer, but they weren't sure if they could get it in and have it be balanced. It sounds like there might be some sort of local multiplayer that they're going to have set up for the game, with online multiplayer being a potential future add-on. Mm-hmm. If you guys, it's Supergiant, if you're able to do that and tap into the same market as the Rocket League group, or the Dota, like the MOBA crowd, and just kind of like bring both of those audiences together,
be big. Yeah.
You could have another runaway hit on your hands. So I hope that works out for them.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't see a lot of creativity like that. No. In the industry.
You really don't.
Not even in indie games. A lot of indie games are making success off of doing what has already been done, but just barely tweaking it and making it artsy. They're like, no, we need to be different. Yeah. So.
The closest thing you'll see is maybe from Nintendo. And I mean just from the big publishers, the big AAA companies, maybe Nintendo. But besides that, you're right. It definitely, you don't see that at all.
All right, so Pyre, thumbs up. Must play. We'll see if we play it.
The backlog.
Oh, the backlog. Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna do a new segment. This is called Post-Mortem.
Sounds depressing.
It does sound depressing.
I like it.
Might have been in some ways.
Hey, death is a part of life.
It is.
All things must end.
The cycle of life that we call life.
So a few weeks ago was E3, and pretty much everybody's done talking about it, but not us. We're doing a post-mortem. So post-mortem E3 2017. So I think we each have 2 or 3 bullets, just some top-level takeaways from E3. I'll start us off if you guys don't mind.
Go for it.
I think I'm the only one actually going to talk about Game of Show. So my Game of Show was Super Mario Odyssey, and not because it was the brand new cool thing, and not because Mario is something that I love to death. I mean, who doesn't love Mario?
Right.
But it's not like, I got to play Mario.
Right.
But
Luigi doesn't love Mario.
Luigi.
Poor Luigi.
I would play Super
Luigi
Super
Odyssey.
Luigi.
Yeah, Super Luigi Odyssey. Just the way they showed off that trailer, you can watch our reaction on our YouTube channel, the Gaming Resumé.
Nice.
Our being his, because he was the only one there for it.
Right.
I mean, I'm just sitting there, and you just hear the dum dum dum. I'm like, okay, here comes Monster Hunter on the Switch, and
the
not
T-Rex.
having not played Monster Hunter, I'm just watching this T-Rex, not knowing any different. I'm like, oh, look, they put a Mario item in Monster Hunter,
Which
and
has happened.
and then Mario jumps out, and it's like, wait, what? And then they just keep throwing all of this new footage at you.
Yeah,
and it's
the
like,
new
whoa,
mechanics and everything.
dinosaur world, everything, and then they do the thing with the hat, and you go into a frog, and it's like, well, that's kind of weird. What are they showing there? And then they show in game he's now a Goomba, and now he's a Koopa Troopa, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's just like the you can be a taxi cab, you can be a human. It's like the potential for the gameplay mechanics. Just they nailed it with a 2-minute trailer. Here's what this game is actually going to be about, and some of the extended gameplay after E3 that you can watch.
Treehouse stuff.
It felt like Step Aside Zelda. It was like, you think that you're gonna like reinvent yourself? Welcome to 3D Mario.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a little while. We got some new tricks up our sleeve. It was fantastic.
And that's what made me happy. I kept talking about prior to the Nintendo presentation that if they took the idea of like reinventing the wheel like they kind of did with Zelda and open world, throw that into your 3D platformer like Mario, and they did. It made me so happy because I genuinely love Mario. So seeing all of the potential gameplay wise, back to the Mario 64. Yes.
I mean, if tomorrow morning you woke up and you pitched me an Italian plumber rescuing a princess from a giant turtle dragon creature, and I would just like, what the hell are you talking about?
In
I don't
full
even
Dapper
know.
costume, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yes. Oh my god, going to
Like,
the wedding.
I'm just what? And yet, it is gaming. It is everything.
Everything.
Can't wait for Odyssey. So yeah, I would agree. Gaming show. Or
Yeah,
Destin show.
same here. As much as I loved seeing Monster Hunter World and seeing the extended stuff they showed afterwards too, behind closed doors, Mario Odyssey, man, yeah, it's gonna be great.
That kind of flows into one of my points. One of my observations was, I gotta say, for the first time in a while, Nintendo, as the big AAA developers go, as kind of the big guys go, I think Nintendo has the entire gaming world like just in a vice grip right now, like by the balls.
Yes,
They have been for years just, kind of shifting in the background, not being a part of the console wars anymore since GameCube, doing their own thing. And Wii was like revolutionary, but also not as popular maybe. And while there's a lot of beloved games on it,
popular in what sense? I'm sorry.
In the hardcore gaming.
Oh, okay.
Popular in like the
it outsold
like
everything.
Rudy.
Ever.
Rudy would sit here and be like, "We,
Just like that. We miss you, buddy.
Whatever. The art style's kind of overrated." Sorry, I love you, Dolpho.
He's out of the country right now, so we're able to throw
he gets
shade
his-
at him.
But I think that's a normal. People like that with Nintendo.
Right.
That's the way it is, right? And then the Wii U. Oh. The Wii U struggled mightily, and it's like, Nintendo's losing their way.
Yeah.
And, like, there hasn't been a Metroid game in forever, and what are they doing? Smash and all this crap. And then the Switch drops, and all the things they learn, right? And they drop a Zelda game, and it's the best Zelda we've had in ages.
Absolutely.
Maybe the best we've ever had. And then they announced the first 3D Mario in a long time, and they're leading up, and they're leading up. And then E3 drops, and they're like, here's 30 minutes, whatever. Title card, Metroid Prime. People go, that's all they had to do. Nintendo owns the gaming. Aside from the people who are going to go home and play their Xbox One for Call of Duty, I don't hate you. You do what you want to do. You're missing out, though.
You're going to get a lot of hate in the comments.
Look, whatever, man. I'm sorry. If you don't broaden your horizons, whatever, that's it. But you cannot argue to me that they, out of the big guys at E3, did not just own the show with the least content. They didn't have to show a whole lot of new. They just killed it with what they had.
Hey, a Pokemon game is coming to the Switch. Done. Sold.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Core RPG, Pokemon on the big screen TV.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like,
holy crap.
They're not a part of this console war where we got to try and keep up with PCs for graphic fidelity because we've just basically taken what everyone's wanted to do with transitioning from mobile to sitting at your TV gaming, and we've made it successful. Mm-hmm. And now all we got to do is pump out what people want. Metroid, when Smash gets announced. Porting Mario Kart, I mean, how well has that done? And it's just the same game with a slight tweak to it. Splatoon 2, and now we're going to get competitive. Nintendo is, like, they're just, the stock is up.
I got to tell you, I kind of wish I would have recorded my reaction for Metroid Prime 4, because as crazy as the Monster Hunter World was, I genuinely flipped. My dog ran into the room looking at me like, what is going on? Are you okay? And I'm like, yes, buddy. Metroid Prime 4 is happening.
I was at work on my lunch break, and we were watching in a quiet room on a laptop, and he was the only other one watching it live at the time, and we were on the Slack, like we have a group Slack, and we were like, oh, we can't say anything because they're gonna be mad at us for spoilers. And it was just
God.
Prime.
Yes, like I flipped. So the fact that kind of reaction from a title card still can come from Nintendo shows you, like, not only are they holding the gaming industry like you said in a vice grip, but that the quality that comes from that brand. They make good games, and that's all that needs to be said. So now we're looking forward to that on our Switches, and it's gonna be a good old time for sure.
I feel like did you have a Nintendo point, a specific observation?
I did, actually. My one of my takeaways was that, yes, Nintendo, they're doing their thing with the Switch, but it looks like they really want to focus somewhat on the competitive scene. And I like that. I follow the Smash competitive scene, both Melee and 4, and seeing them putting these tournaments for Pokken, for Splatoon, ARMS, like it made me happy because that's also a with games as art is one thing, but games as like in general, like as esports, it still has a little bit to go in terms of like how the mainstream crowd takes it. You know, there's not a lot of like people look at it and say, "Ugh, what really? You're gonna call it an esport? Come on!" But there's so much depth to the game, especially fighters. There's so many like reaction time, your hand-eye coordination.
Oh, Evo is one of my favorite events of the year,
Yep,
and I'm a big
exactly.
actual sports fan. I love football. I watch a lot of basketball. I might be one of the rare people that also is like Evo tournament. Let's go.
Yeah,
I think it's a generational thing, and I think it might take 10 or so years, but as the more old school generation
fades
out is how we'll say it. And, you know, the younger generation's coming up, and they're like the prime audience for just competitive television, if you will, in general. I think esports is going to be a major player.
Grandpa, just get on the iceberg. I got this ice float for you. It's time. Just go into the sunset. You're gonna be fine.
But yeah, that just made me happy. They've been doing it for a while. They officially now sponsor Evo. They sponsor Melee, which is how old is Melee now? 16 years old, I think, 2001.
Yeah,
and they're still sponsoring that game. So the fact that they really want to push on that, it makes me happy.
I'm interested to see as new games come out on Switch, not ports of Mario Kart because they weren't going to revamp the system they already had.
No.
But is Switch going to be the platform that finally brings the Nintendo like online from home to a better place? Because that's my one concern with that is, like local is great, and they've really tried to hype that with the Switch.
Yeah.
Like 4 people can be sitting there, but what about me sitting at home wanting to play whatever on the network? Are you going to have better matchmaking? Are you going to have a more accessible online system? Is it not going to be like Mario Kart's a great example of how annoying that can be. So I would like to see that progress, but I do like that they're thinking about it.
And they probably are progressing. It's interesting that they pushed back the paid online service to next year.
Right.
So I think that at least shows that there is something they are working on. It's not cooking as fast as they thought it would.
Exactly.
So they're leaving it in the oven for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Hopefully what comes out is what we're all hoping and looking forward to.
Definitely.
So let's,
Hit your point number 2. Man.
Okay. I was going to say, let's change gears, get it out of Nintendo land for a bit. Got to talk about Sony. So it was not the worst press conference.
No.
It, for me personally, was the most disappointing. And not because what they showed wasn't great. They showed some great stuff, even though it buffered for half of what we were watching. But if I compare E3 2017 Sony conference to PSX 2016 Sony conference, PSX was by far the most hype of the two. So much so.
Yeah.
And what I think we are going to start seeing from Sony is E3 is where they concentrate on more of their short-term, big title, here's what's coming out in the near-term future, maybe early 2018, stuff you've already seen, and they're going to save all of the really cool core gamer hype type stuff for PSX or TGS. I mean, they have Danganronpa 3 on stage at PSX, but they don't even put Knack 2, which is,
it's Knack.
It's Knack 2. They didn't have The Last of Us, which it's in early development, whatever.
Right.
But like there were a lot of, I don't want to say Knack's a big title, but there were a lot of big Sony first party titles that didn't even show up. It's like Everybody's Golf comes out in August. It was pre-show. Ni no Kuni is coming out in November. Pre-show.
Right.
So-
Undertale too, like that. I mean, I don't know if it has the big, but still, that was also pre-show, and I know Undertale has a bigger following. So
E3, it is the most mainstream of the conferences. Like all the gamers tune in for it, right? That's why last year Sony had Infinite Warfare on there. They were the big advertisement for a Call of Duty game. Who the hell saw that coming?
Yep.
So I think maybe the first party guys take a little more heat than they should for E3 if they don't come up with a bunch of brand new stuff, because to some degree you only have so much control over what your developers are doing at the time, right? So I will admit it was a lot of rehash for Sony this year, although they showed actual gameplay from things that we had only ever seen like a teaser trailer from. I'm more forgiving for that stuff. I'm like, look, there's a lot of cool things coming out. That means that next year we're probably gonna get all sorts of crazy stuff. And Sony missed out on some good third-party opportunities because those companies get to choose. And like BioWare has proven that they will release on the best hardware. Andromeda was pushed with PS Pro because that's when it was coming out. Anthem's being pushed with Xbox X.
Xbox One
X hardcore X1.
The Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox.
That's literally, yeah.
So, yeah, but I feel you.
I mean, Shuhei came out later. Shuhei Yoshida came out a few days after E3, and he was like, we held back on some announcements. So I think there is a intentional decision to hold back on some of that stuff.
Right.
Maybe they thought that they were going to get outshined at E3. I mean, Ubisoft did a great year. Nintendo came out firing. Even Microsoft, they're announcing a whole new console. Sony may have said, let's just back off, let them take it for now, and then we'll come back later in the year at another conference and just blow everybody away.
They have their own event. They have PSX. So it's like they can do whatever they want there. It's an hour and a half or whatever the length is of their own things. So why not save it for their show that their fans are going to be at?
Hashtag building the list. Bloodborne 2. I'm banging on the table.
You're the one hitting the table today.
Bloodborne 2
Don't
is
hit the
coming.
table during the podcast. He's done it like 4 times.
I'm going to sit on my hands for the rest of the show.
Bloodborne 2 is not happening.
It will
Bloodborne 2
happen.
is never happening, bro. It's not happening.
It'll
Just
happen.
let it go. You should. This guy before the Sony press conference is like, they're gonna announce like 12 games. It's gonna be like all this Sony stuff. They're gonna announce like a bunch of Final Fantasy remake stuff.
I'll circle back on that when we get to the end.
But you were just making the point about like maybe them holding back, which kind of leads into one of my other observations. I thought that there was only one company, maybe not counting Nintendo, but these AAA companies are always trying to be out ahead of the curve, right? They're trying to read the fan base. There's always this back and forth. Sony, and it's always Sony and Microsoft, let's be honest, right? Who's going to be on the head? Last generation, Microsoft just held it down for so long. And then Sony just killed it with the start of this generation, and now Microsoft's starting to try and even it out. But one of my observations from this year was there was only one company that I thought really got out ahead of their fan base in terms of understanding what they needed, what they wanted, and what was going to sell well at E3, and that was Ubisoft.
Yep.
And Ubisoft has been trying to repair some mediocre reputation for a couple years, especially as it concerns E3 and faked out demos and games looking better than they're actually going to be.
Yep.
And last year I thought they had a good conference, but they made that decision to not have Aisa there this year, and I was like, oh, I don't know, that's such a big part. But then they start the show with Rabbids. And they bring out Miyamoto, and it's so personal. And even like the awkward moment kind of made it charming, right? Because it was like, these are the developers caring about the games and about the gamers and walking out here and be like, you know what? I'm not professionally paid to present this thing, but let me pour out my heart and soul. And they had that shot of the developer on Rabbids like in tears because Miyamoto was up there. Oh. And I just got this whole vibe from Ubisoft that they knew going in. They're like, forget what all these other guys are doing. Forget all the Tom Clancy stuff. We're not even going to do Assassin's Creed at our own press conference. That was a brilliant move, in my opinion. We're going to let Assassin's Creed be focused on at Microsoft's big, gaudy, monstrosity of a conference. We're going to do Rabbids, and we're going to show all these new interesting concepts we have, and we're going to like end the show with a fan favorite, right? With something that people have wanted forever, and we're going to make it close to home. And they read the audience so much better. Sony, it's like they kind of didn't know what to do with themselves. Microsoft was like, well, we know that this console's not going to make any money, and PS Pro has been kind of a flop, but here's 42 games. We're going to copy what Sony did last year, and here's the most powerful console. And Nintendo did what Nintendo did. Yeah. But to me, like, man, like, was Ubisoft not just leaps and bounds ahead in terms of reading the vibe?
And I think that played into one of your points also about Ubisoft.
The fact that they brought developers in made it that much more like personal. Like the one you mentioned, like he that developer that Miyamoto like called out, because Miyamoto did say like I like this game, and I guarantee you that guy grew up on Mario. That guy grew up idolizing Miyamoto, and for his like living legend to say I like what you did, that's good. I mean, that's the reason why he was in tears.
Oh yeah.
So I loved that, you know. It definitely made it more personal. Seeing Michelle and Cell, sorry, the guy that's making Beyond Good and Evil 2, seeing his reaction too. It's like it's finally
He was
being
tearing
made.
up too. Yeah,
Exactly.
There was a lot of emotion, and that just shows that it's genuine. They're not up there doing a publicity stunt.
Exactly.
They're not doing PR. I mean, that is what E3 is all about.
Yeah,
You're
it's a big
marketing your
commercial.
games.
Yeah.
It's a big commercial, but it's not a commercial to the people that are actually developing this stuff. It's
Right.
their life's work, and it's art to them. It's not a product. It is a form of expression.
Exactly.
And being given the opportunity to be recognized for it.
Yeah.
Ubisoft did a fantastic job
Yeah. Definitely.
presenting it.
Definitely. And I'll throw in my quick last point because it was about Sony. They just played it safe. That's really it. It was, like you mentioned, you know, a few big hitters, Monster Hunter World, Shadow of the Colossus remake, which after letting the hype die down, I'm not really as excited as I thought it would be. But, yeah, they played it safe. So, yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
I know you had one more.
I have one more, and some people might disagree with this, because we did see Fallout VR, we did see Doom VR.
Oh yeah.
There was a game at Ubisoft's conference called, I turned to the page, Transference. And then I think Sony showed some VR stuff.
Sony had a chunk of VR, yeah.
But I think the showings for VR this year were not where people probably thought VR was going to end up. So I don't want to say VR is dead, but it is not going to hit the lofty heights that everybody expected it to.
Yeah.
I think there's people that are waiting it out based on price and maybe based on games, but I think you're going to find that I don't want to call it a gimmick in the sense that it's bad technology, but I want to say it's a gimmick in the sense of like motion controls.
I was just going to say that.
It's another way to experience and interact with a game, but it is not going to be the replacement. And I don't think it ever was meant to be a replacement, but they were building it up to be a sizable chunk of what gaming is going to be like going forward. And I really don't think it will be. I think, as others have said, VR is going to do really well in non-gaming industries like the medical industry or training and stuff like that, but not sitting at home with a helmet on your head.
So where I'll disagree with you on that is I think you are correct on the console side of things. I think what they're finding is that consoles are not a valid platform for VR because it just goes against so many of the tenets that make up console gaming. Sitting down on your couch, grabbing your controller, relaxing, and playing in front of your TV, right? And having enough power to do it. It is very taxing and very expensive. Like, I have a VR-capable rig, and it costs way more than anything you're going to spend on a console right now.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who has multiple friends who own Vives and has spent a lot of time in Vive and a little bit of time in Oculus, I think VR is seeing a burst of gaming creativity right now where you're starting to see some really good fully functional games hitting the market on Steam. But the consoles, it's just not... It's not a part of what they're doing right now. It doesn't make a lot of sense for them to be investing a lot of time in it because it's expensive. And if you're buying a PS4 or an Xbox, you're not looking to go spend. I mean, even their VR headsets being half the price of the Vive, it's still a lot of money to lay down.
Yep.
I think VR is going to continue to develop really well in the PC master race sort of market where people can afford to put down that kind of money because the Vive is phenomenal. And I've had some incredible experiences in there. But you're right. On the console side of things, it's just...
Yeah, I don't think it's going away, but it's just going to become a small niche, I feel.
Well, and that's the thing. Like you mentioned that on PC it might take off, and that's fine. Like I think it still goes to say though that the console side of things, whether it's, I guess, whether it deserves it or not, it is the one that pushes where the gaming goes. Like PCs, as much as I love my PC, it's different. You know, you look at Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, whatever they do is what's going to make the gaming industry shift. But because with PC, you could do a lot of things that you couldn't do before on consoles, before consoles could do them.
Right, yeah.
And it didn't take off until the console started doing them. So that, and also with VR, I've never experienced it, so I'm probably I could be wrong, but I don't see how, for example, my current game of the year, Nier, I don't know how that game could have been made better if I played it in VR.
It would. Yeah.
You know, I don't know how Persona 5, I don't know how any of the games I've played could be better in VR.
Yeah.
So I've not heard of a game that people have said must play, genre defining, game changing experience come out of VR yet.
Despite what I just said, I think Resident Evil 7 might be an
heard
exception to the rule.
I have heard that.
Haven't played either version of Resident Evil 7.
Right.
Well, horror
But
is.
That's
a
one of
good
them.
platform for VR.
Because that's that isolated feel that the
Right.
game is trying to give you
Exactly.
to a T.
Yeah,
like
there's-
you're really isolated. So I guess it could
I
work.
want to play Final Fantasy 15 or Kingdom Hearts 3 flipping
Yeah.
around.
But
and-
largely, VR is its own genre of game.
It is.
Right.
You can't just
Yeah.
slap it on a game. So
Right.
I did have one last one,
Yep.
and I think this was my biggest takeaway from E3 this year is long live AAA gaming, but Lord, innovation in AAA gaming is dead.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There was
You didn't see Spider-Man and all those QuickTime events? That was revolutionary.
L2, R2, L2, R2, R2.
so let's look at the big hitters, right? Like Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, God of War,
Sequels.
sequels,
Minus Spider-Man.
sequels. Even like Ubisoft announcing what is just essentially taking Assassin's Creed out of Black Flag and making a pirate game out of it. Okay,
Yeah.
Here's the ultimate example. An example I'm incredibly happy about. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Mm-hmm.
A game that was... The original game was not a financial success.
No.
Beyond
No.
Good and Evil was not a financial success. It is a cult classic, and the demand has been there for years. But the reason it never got made was because it was never worth making money-wise. But we are at the point where for AAA gaming, it is safer to take that franchise that did not make any money and go, oh, well, 12 years later, even people who haven't played it are going to be so hyped about it. We'll dump cash into it and make it this huge thing because that is easier for them, just like for Hollywood right now, than the risk of putting out a new IP. Assassin's Creed 9, Forza Motorsport 7. It's just AAA gaming cannot come up with anything new. Like the just came out yesterday, Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy. There were no examples and that I can think of this year for AAA games that were like, this is something brand new. It's all in the indie sphere, all of it.
Not to spin into a side conversation, but I'm trying to think what would be the best example, the most recent best example of something new and fresh in the AAA gaming industry. I have an idea of what that would be, but I want to see what you guys think first, because it's an
Like
old...
a game that's released recently?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't
relatively.
necessarily have to be recently. Like, what's the most recent game you can think of, AAA, that not redefined anything necessarily, but
did something new.
did something new. And I've got it in mind. I know what it is, but I don't want to say it yet.
Destiny kind of sticks out in my head as trying to do that because it's trying to bring, like, it kind of created the casual MMO.
It's Borderlands with some
It's an MMO.
phased in MMO.
Right, but it was trying to do, it was a new step in the right direction for shared worlds on consoles.
Yeah, okay.
It was a bit of a, I still not incredibly innovative in my opinion, but it was an interesting hybrid. But yeah, I mean, again, still reinforces the point. I don't know. What about
The game I thought's older than Destiny.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends on what you consider redefining. I can look at Breath of the Wild and say, okay, Breath of the Wild took the idea of open world and made the whole open air, and it's
right,
like,
but even it's an old IP that they just went open world with, really.
yeah, I'm thinking more mechanically. I'm thinking brand new IP with brand new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Is that what you have in mind? A new? I really want. Okay, what?
Demon Souls.
I was gonna say he's gonna go
yeah.
back to Souls.
Demon Souls, yeah.
because I was thinking Bloodborne, but I'm like, you can't even pick that because that's
because it had
just a
Dark
reinvention
Souls.
of Dark Souls, which
Yeah.
is a reinvention of Demon Souls.
Borderlands is newer than Demon Souls.
Demon Souls came out in 2009. When did Borderlands 1 come out? Yeah, I watched a video on it recently.
It would have been close. Borderlands was late 2000s.
But even then, Borderlands, well, see, if you get into semantics, then maybe Demon Souls isn't even a good example either. But I was going to say Borderlands is basically the Diablo loot system in first person.
Yeah.
And then
but-
AAA, I mean, Assassin's Creed debuted with 360.
2007.
So that was early
Yeah, that was
2000s. And that's still going.
All the big all
Arkham,
the recent big stuff. Most of it came out in 2007.
Arkham,
Mass Effect started
2007,
2007.
Mass Effect.
BioShock started 2007. Assassin's Creed.
Dragon Age.
Even
Call
Mario,
of Duty's
Galaxy.
been around for a while, but the Modern Warfare series,
Started in
which
the
kicked off
2000s.
Call of Duty's super popularity,
I mean,
2007.
Last of Us. Was,
Uncharted was 2007.
Right. Naughty Dog, though, has the tendency to, because Last of Us was supposed to be Jack and Daxter. We've had this discussion.
Yeah.
But that was the very end of that. That actually, Last of Us might be the one that would be the most recent
But
one.
would you say that's innovative though? Because all they did was just take a stealth game, take a slight shooter, and take zombies and mash them up. That's the thing with Uncharted too. As much as I love that series, it's just a cover-based third.
Last of Us was okay. So if you recall, that trailer came out when we hadn't gotten an announcement on the next generation of consoles yet,
Right.
and we saw it along with like Watch Dogs, and it was that phase where we saw the transition where games were like, wait a second, these cannot be on PS3.
Right.
These are next gen games, and it took that big leap forward. It was a new IP with brand new writing. The technology they were using to build it was new. It was a story that was fairly unique, and it had a lot more in the way of unique mechanics. Even though it is a stealth action-y game, it had a lot of elements that again, I don't think it's pure innovation, but it's a hell of a lot better than we're gonna turn God of War into a Viking.
Oh, I don't want
and, you know, stuff like that. And I'm not upset about those. I'm just saying AAA is no longer just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just like Star Wars, just like the DCU, just like all these Hollywood franchises that want to make these persistent universes and just keep raking in money off of the formula.
Yeah.
That's where AAA gaming is right now.
Well,
Yeah.
just in quick defense of MCU, they invented that formula.
No, that's fine. But that was
They invented
in
it,
the
but I guess they
mid-2000s.
Yeah.
You know, it's been years.
Oh
It's
my
just,
gosh!
We don't,
I remember
2008.
watching Iron Man at your house
I
when it first came
know.
out.
Yeah,
Jeez.
We're not, you know, it's not risk reward. We want to make the maximum amount of profit off of what we can get. Spider-Man will be great. I'm going to love it, but it is Spider-Man Arkham, right? Like
Yeah.
it's taking what somebody else did. There are very few studios that are willing to take the chance or that even have the opportunity because the first party guys are like, and that's probably why Scalebound got canned.
No, I know.
So, just as kind of a counterpoint, can any of you guys think of a game coming up that is expected to be AAA next gen, new IP redefining stuff?
Anthem is,
maybe,
but
yeah.
but Anthem is just the Division and Destiny, but with Iron Man suits. It's that same vibe, right? What are they gonna do that's new for it?
You can do that with any game at this point, right? You can kind of look at them because we already have so much history with it. It's like, okay, what can we? There's really
It is at least a new IP. They're
Pyre.
taking the risk.
It's not a AAA game,
But again,
but
that's
Pyre.
what I'm saying. Indie games are where that's at right now.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting Cuphead this year.
Yeah,
We're
Cuphead
getting
looks
we're getting a lot of
great.
interesting indie games because small teams, man. When Hello Games bombs the hell out of what should be this incredibly innovative thing, it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
they made so much more money than they spent on that thing
That's true.
anyway. And people are upset, but no one's upset at the big companies. They're like, fuck you, Sean Murray. Fuck you, Sean Murray. Like, poor dude is just trying to make his game. And Sony was like, well, all the AAA guys were like, oh, let's like prop you up as this amazing thing. And then he takes all the shit.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why Rocksteady's not like blowing things out of the water right now. You know, it's just.
I feel like there is one game that has recently been announced or people have been talking about as like that could be something brand new, but it's not coming to mind.
No.
So
I
if
think
anybody,
whatever From Games is working on that is not
From
Armored
Software.
Core or whatever their next Soulsy game is, because they supposedly have 3 in development.
But even then,
there's
it's
potential there.
Soulsy. Like it's
Well, they have a 3rd game that we have no clue.
Me-
We
like
don't
that-
know. It could be something completely different.
if there's an obvious answer to a game that we are not thinking of, please
Yeah,
leave
let
it in the
us know.
comments. We would
Please.
love to know how wrong we are.
Argue with me. Tell me AAA gaming is still innovative.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
And
Yes.
that is not even a negative for me. I'm not trying to take a dump on it. Like, I think AAA gaming was in a rut and was terrifyingly like low to the ground for a while, and I think it's coming back up. Like, AAA games are doing well again. They actually have compelling stories. They take more than 12 hours to beat. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see Wolfenstein coming out. I'm glad to see Spider-Man. I'm glad to see God of War coming back, hopefully in an innovative way. Because, like, games like The Order come out, and it's like, oh, it's really pretty, but it kind of sucked. Why did you take a risk on this? You know, it takes brilliance to make a new IP good, and there's just not enough of that right now.
So I think this is a good time to transition into our staff notes.
Yes.
It's funny we're talking about AAA gaming as it exists today. So staff notes is our current events segment. I've only got one listed here. Speaking of AAA gaming, Nintendo announced this past week the Super Nintendo Classic Edition coming out September 29th for $80. Yeah. So talk about AAA gaming from another era.
Right.
This is huge.
It is.
This is
It really is.
a big deal. This is a bigger deal than the NES Classic by far.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me read through these really quick, and then we can discuss. So there's 21 games, and those 21 games are, get ready, Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, Super Punch-Out, F-Zero, Earthbound, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Castlevania 4, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy 3, which is Final Fantasy 6, and Star Fox, and Star Fox 2, which has never been released anywhere.
Star Fox 2, an unreleased game that was stuck in like their whole development hell for years, never came out, and they're releasing it on this. I need it.
They better make enough of these.
They said they would.
Boxes. They said they're going to make a lot more.
Yeah.
You cannot pre-order them yet in the United States. Pre-orders in Europe have been crazy sold out.
I need this. I need this machine.
Bless you. I don't think Nintendo would be stupid enough to only release Star Fox 2 on this console. I think what they're going to do is release it here first.
And then maybe
they're going to virtual console it later.
Well, would that be a good way to start off the virtual console on Switch? Say, hey, by the way, guys, remember Star Fox 2?
Remember, to all those people that couldn't get a copy. Here you go.
You know, I don't know, though, man. Like, you know, they just released a new Virtual Console game on Wii U the other day, which is a bad sign for Switch Virtual Console. The fact that they're still releasing Virtual Console games on Wii U.
Well, I don't think so, because Virtual Console just doesn't exist on the Switch.
Yeah.
So once it does, if everything is portable, which probably is why it hasn't happened yet, I'm hoping they're trying to, if you bought something on the Wii U or even on the 3DS and they can emulate it on the Switch somehow, if you bought it and you own it, here you go. It's still yours.
That would be fantastic. I mean, they kind of... No, they didn't. They did a whole upcharge where you pay like $1, I think, or $2 to get it.
Even then, I'll pay a couple bucks for games I already own.
Yeah.
What bothers me about this is that it just feels so exploitive to me. Like, it feels so cash grabby, especially when you consider that all these Sega Genesis games are playable on like iOS now, and like you can get them all on Steam. And Sega's just been like, yeah, whatever, like let people play the games. And Nintendo, to their credit, it's a good business tactic. Let's build this piece of hardware and release it. And I would be more on board if there was expanded capability, if they were going to release more game packs for it, right? If they were going to make, but it just, all of it together in this one package aggravates me because I'm like, yeah, I want to buy it, but it costs you guys nothing to make this damn thing, and you're just trying to play on my nostalgia.
I mean, at the end of the day, they are a business. I mean, it's not like Sony's out there like, you know, we really care about our people. Let's give them Crash. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, Crash. People wanted a Crash remake, but it's also a cash grab. They're holding on to the people from 20 years ago that played it and loved it, and now they're gonna buy it. You know?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just. Maybe it's just because Virtual Console exists, because they've already done this, because I already own some of those games on my 3DS,
I do,
and so I'm like,
and on my Wii U, I own
and
a lot
you've made me buy those games like 2 times already because I've had to buy them on 3DS and I had to buy them on Wii or Wii U or whatever the hell, you know. It's like you make me repurchase them, and now you're coming out with a little piece of hardware.
See, I think it can be both. I think it can be both a cash grab and a really awesome product.
It is, yeah.
That consumers should be excited for. The reason I'm excited for this, I never had a Super Nintendo growing up. I had everything else. Yeah. Never had a Super Nintendo. I remember when Donkey Kong Country when it came out, and I played it at Toys R Us. I remember playing that. I remember playing Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island
Oh
at
my
Toys R
God,
Us.
yes.
And I'm like, man, I would love to take this home. My parents weren't going to buy it. I've already got a Sega Genesis.
Right.
So I'm looking at all these games. I have, even though they're available, I did play Super Mario World on the DS, but I've never played Super Mario RPG.
Oh.
I've never played A Link to the Past. I've barely played Final Fantasy VI. I mean, I've never played Mega Man X.
Wow,
I've
Mega
never
Man
played
X.
Earthbound. I've played F-Zero 64. There's so many games. I never played Star Fox. It's like, or Donkey Kong Country, really, other than that
Yeah.
quick demo. All of these core Super Nintendo games, never played. And
Yeah.
I'm probably one of the few, but this is like I have to get this.
Right.
Here's my hypothetical to you, though, because I know that this is a sticking point for you. I like to stir up the pot, you know. If your theory that Chrono Trigger is not going to... Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger. If your theory... Because Sean believes that the reason Chrono Trigger is not included in this is that it's going to get its own HD remake
I think
and
it will.
re-release later
Maybe
this
not
year.
a remake, but a remaster or something.
Or whatever.
Re-release.
But let's say that doesn't happen.
Yep.
Will you be more aggravated about something like that not being included? Being
No,
included in this?
not at all. I mean, yes, it sucks that it's not included on here, but I'm not going to poo-poo this whole thing just because that one game is not on the list.
I don't know, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is if it's like
It would make it better if
you're-
it was
you're-
on
you're,
here.
You're
Absolutely.
picking, you're
It
picking
would
and
absolutely make it
choosing,
better.
and you're not going to put what is effectively the greatest 2D RPG like ever.
Absolutely.
Arguably.
Final Fantasy VI is on here. I've never finished that.
And
I've
I've heard
barely
nothing
played
but
it.
good things, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That so right there.
Yeah, but
it's like,
shouldn't it have all of the 2D Final Fantasies on it that were on NES? Weren't there more than one?
There was 2, 4, no, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But I think stateside we only got
stateside we got Final Fantasy 1 on the
which was on
Nintendo.
NES. Yeah.
We got Final Fantasy 4, which was 2
2
here
on Super Nintendo,
Super
right?
Nintendo,
Yeah.
and then we got 6, which was 3 here.
Yeah.
So why aren't they all on there, right? Like,
Well,
I'm
they're not
just-
going to put every game on here.
Yeah. They're gonna put the best
That's
of
what
the
I'm
best.
saying. Is it wouldn't cost them anything to do it.
Well,
It's
it would
effect-
cost them
it's-
licensing.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure Square Enix is getting a chunk
it's
off
a
of
little-
everyone sold.
It's a little piece of flash memory. Like, come on, man.
To
Like,
be
you know their
fair-
profit margin on this thing is insane.
To be fair, the NES Classic, which I'm not condoning this, legal reasons, but and I have not done this, but the NES Classic, people hacked it, and you can put any ROM on there now.
Pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I can
It's
do
gonna
that.
happen, but it's gonna happen to this. I get it.
I can do
know
that with anything.
I know you can do that with anything. Why not just go get a Raspberry Pi or whatever it is and just
and have
and
10,000
have
games
it
from
all.
every like I had a friend who soft modded his Wii and it had
Yeah.
every Sega Genesis game, every NES game, every Super NES game, everything you could ever freaking want. You can get Dolphin on your home PC and
Yeah.
play basically everything ever made.
I think
like,
just because it's official.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I get it.
It's official.
But that's what I'm saying is you're gonna release it officially. Like knock it out of the park, man.
Well-
You can still make money off of this and do right. And I mean, yeah, 30 titles is not bad, but you could have gone harder. Like you could have gone really crazy with it.
Money is clearly not important to Nintendo because otherwise this would not be a limited edition product.
No.
Yeah, I mean they're just drumming up
No.
hype, I guess, but I don't know.
I mean, the thing is too, like it's
maybe I just don't get it. Maybe because of the nature of the Japanese consumers, because you still can't get Switches in Japan right now. There's
Yeah,
still
they're having
lines at
issues
the
with
door to
stock,
get
so-
those. Maybe because of the way their primary market functions, because I don't know what the money numbers are different. Like for Switch, how much it's made here versus how much it's made in Japan.
Well, and
Is there a
also
big gap there? I don't know.
I think it's going to become the new mobile console
Right.
over there, and mobile is a huge deal in Japan
Yes.
because of
Yeah.
how their infrastructure's set up and all the
commuting,
traveling
yeah.
and commuting.
But
so.
I mean, my point being, maybe I'm just American white demographic consumer who doesn't understand, and I'm sitting here demanding that you do better, and it's like, well, this isn't the way that we do things because we're a Japanese company, and that's fair. I'm just voicing my opinion from where I'm at. I'm still tempted to buy the damn thing. The exclusive nature of it calls out to the snowflakey collector in me that's like, oh, I kind of want to have it just to have it. It's a cool looking little thing. Although they're also shafting us because the European and Japanese ones are better anyway. Have you not seen the articles on that?
What do they get that's
Kotaku,
different?
like the design is different. The
Well,
actual,
well, yeah.
physical appearance of
Well,
it is different.
that's how they were released when they came out, though.
Yeah, I know.
They had
but
that design.
like they're like, you should just go ahead and give everyone the best version of it.
Well,
Well, how does it make it better though? You're talking about literally
I
the
don't
design,
know.
or
I skimmed a Kotaku article the other day about it, and I found it intriguing.
if it's just the physical appearance, you can pre-order it from
there
Japan.
might have
from...
been something else over there. I
they
don't know.
have different games. I think we're
Oh,
getting
yeah, maybe they're
Earthbound,
quick-
and they're
maybe they're
getting something
cataloged.
else. But in terms of the design, like we're getting the American release because
Right,
that's
yeah.
what came out in America, and they're getting the European release, and Japan has their Super Famicom, and that's literally aesthetics.
I
sure
think
it'll be
it's so
cool.
cool that they're still calling it Final Fantasy 3,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
even though by now that all of the Final Fantasies are available in the U.S., they don't call it 3 anymore. It's
No.
Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah.
But for this release, Final Fantasy 3. I thought that was a nice touch.
I mean, part of it may also be like,
The box art.
whatever.
yeah.
I don't want it. Look, it makes for uninteresting content if all three of us are just like, go Super
No,
Nintendo
you're
Classic."
fine.
I'm
not arguing. You know,
I do feel this way legitimately. I'm not like angry about it. There's just a part of me that's miffed, and if we
Yeah.
all three just sat here and raved about it, it'd be like,
For me, it has nothing to do with loving Japanese culture. It's because I didn't have one of these as a kid. I will take what I can get.
That's fair enough.
There's other games that should be on here, but like I said, almost all of these games I've never played.
Yeah.
And they are important
darlings, yeah.
tentpole pieces in gaming history.
yeah, they really are.
This is the cream of the crop for that time period,
Hey, look,
and I
man.
missed it. It's a whole window that I missed,
When
so
I-
I really can't wait to get
when
into
my
it.
alarm went off at 7:00 this morning, it was the Super Mario World athletic theme. Which is my favorite
Yes.
Super Mario. Do.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I mean,
incredible.
it's near and dear to my heart. Okay, I get it. I'm
Near
just,
Automata and dear to your heart.
Oh,
Okay.
we're gonna cutting that.
No,
No, we're not, because he edits the damn videos. It's not gonna get cut.
All right. Was there anything else you guys want to talk about Super Nintendo?
I need it. I want it. I need it. Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
like
right.
it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Hopefully there's enough. And it sounds like it comes out in September. They said they're going to release a ton
All
of
the way
them.
to December,
All the
too.
way to December.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about next year, but it sounds like there will be, depending on demand, a little bit more in 2018.
Give us expandable ROMs.
I don't think they will.
I-
The way they did it with the NES Classic, nah.
If you are listening and you're from Amazon or Best Buy or any of those places, limit it to one per customer.
Stop
Seriously.
with the-
Please.
stop
Scalpers
with the
are killing.
scalping.
Good grief.
No one wants to pay $200
No.
for one of those things.
Do not, and if you're standing outside a shop, a brick and mortar store, good luck.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to our team building exercise. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so this is, we're calling this team building exercise Planning Your Vacation. So the first podcast, the three of us were together, we looked at most of the games that were coming out in the first part of the year, and we took turns. We had a full list, and we took turns voting games off until we had one game left. And then when we read back the order, that was the order that you should have played the first half of 2017, video games in. So we have 12 games on index cards here. These have been shuffled. I'm the only one who knows what games are on this list. There are way more than 12 games coming out this year that you should play, but I picked 12 specifically for a somewhat decent spread. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip one over at a time, and it's going to start at the bottom of our list. And together we're going to vote games up the list until we have a list of 12 games and the order that you should play them in 2017. These are all games that come out beginning July through December of 2017. Quick rules. We all have 2 boosts. And just so there's no problems with it like there was last time, the way this is going to work is if 2 or 3 people vote it up, it goes up. If only one person tries to vote it up, it gets stuck. It doesn't go anywhere. But if that one person decides to use one of their 2 boosts, it goes up one more rung on the ladder, and then we all vote again. So you can vote up a game twice, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay? So when Halo becomes the top game on the list, don't yell at me.
Resident Evil should have won.
Yeah.
Matt, would you like to be the flipper of cards? We'll do
Your
it this
role.
way.
He knows me so well. I'm gonna interact. All right.
Here we go.
First one.
Wow, that was a lot of banging on the table. I just want to point out.
I'm drum rolling.
That's a record bang for probably the rest of the year. Anyway.
What? Whoa. Record bangs. And the first game is
Oh boy.
Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom.
Oh jeez. I
Well,
sent
there's
you.
no voting to be done on this one.
Nope.
Yeah.
I've never
But
played any Ni no Kuni, so
you didn't beat the
I
first
never
one?
beat it because my PS3 died, so I lost my save file, and I was like 30, 40 hours in. I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
I did beat it, and I'm interested to see what happens when they take away the Pokemon type
Right.
collection out of the game. I want to see what they're replacing it with. I know there's some sort of kingdom. You're building up a
mechanic, yeah.
kingdom mechanic. I want to see what the combat's going to be like. I know there's videos out there. I'm trying to do a media blackout for this game. Of the 6 games that I'm personally going to must buy, this is one of those
Okay.
for 2017.
It's one that I'm keeping my eye on. I want to play it, but it'll greatly depend on what else is on the horizon. What else is coming around the time? Because
This comes out November 11th, I believe. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 will probably come out around that time.
what is this releasing on?
yeah,
PS4.
PS4.
Exclusive.
I think it's exclusive, yeah. Joe Hisashi is doing
Is
the
he making
music
the music
again.
again? Oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's a big deal. That is a big deal.
Got Jar Jar Binks over here.
Sorry, there's a freaking gnat. It's driving me nuts. Interrupting the
But yeah,
podcast.
Like a pirate in a bar.
Also random. I cannot get Persona 5 music out of my head right now.
All right, let's flip over the next one.
All right, and the next one is Assassin's Creed Origins.
We were talking right before we started recording. Sean, if Assassin's Creed is on that list, just scratch
Just
it
to
off right
scratch it
now.
off.
I mean, for me, it would be above Ni no Kuni because I have no relation to Ni no Kuni, and I might play Origins.
Wow, you'd be more interested in that.
I don't even know
versus
what Ni no
Ni no
Kuni
Kuni?
is.
Oh, Matt, we
It's a
gotta
great RPG is what it
get
is.
you spun up.
I'm
Yeah.
spun up.
You like Ghibli,
My
right?
Friggin' my 2-cycle lawnmower engine.
We got
gotta prime me.
I mean,
and-
Persona and Nier probably wouldn't have been on your list, right?
Persona absolutely was because I have
Oh.
one friend who is a big fan of Shin Megami Tensei and Persona,
Yeah.
so he's
Okay,
always raved
fair
about them. Nier would have been on my list because I like Platinum games, but Nier didn't get hyped at all. So when it came out, I was just like, "What the hell is this?"
Well, you like Japanese RPGs and anime, so boom.
This is literally Ghibli mixed with
somewhat.
JRPG.
Not as much as you, because I'm not the biggest JRPG fan. I've begun. We've had this discussion. I didn't get into Final Fantasy until later. I haven't finished 15. Like, I'm not crazy about getting the 12 remake. So we'll see. We'll see.
By the way, the reason we shuffled these is because Ni no Kuni 2, because it was the first on the table, cannot be boosted no matter what.
yeah, it's already out.
So the order in which these come out, also there's strategy there. Matt, because I don't think Onyx or I are going to vote up
Nope.
Assassin's
I know. I
Creed.
could vote.
That can
Matt,
stay right
Matt
there.
control and vote Assassin's Creed over Ni no Kuni, and
I
I'm
don't-
walking out of this pot. I'm turning the camera off right now.
I'm
I'm kicking all the lights down. I'm out of here.
Devin Rogers doesn't like it. I'm not gonna. I mean,
Okay.
we already know we're not gonna vote it. I'm not gonna boost it. Like,
All right.
I want it to be good. We've had this conversation, but I have no hopes.
Yeah.
So
Assassin's Creed is
Yeah.
past its prime. Anyway,
next one. Interesting. Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. I should be like Marvel versus Capcom Infinite.
Yeah, I don't know if you can even see that.
Ooh.
Fade away.
Ooh.
It doesn't look appealing. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a good game, but I know a lot of the competitive scene
Infinite
wasn't
combo.
very. Yeah, a lot of that
at
nonsense.
least they're getting rid of that.
It doesn't look good though. Like it just, I don't know.
It's
Like
got-
I saw Dante
it's
from
got
Devil May
Darren
Cry.
Moran in it though.
Yeah.
Darren Moran.
Yeah,
Monster
but
Hunter. It's a Monster
it's also
Hunter,
it also
Dragon.
has Dante in it too,
No,
and I
I
freaking
don't-
love Dante from Devil May Cry.
I could
but
care less. Well, here's the problem with this. I think everyone at this table agrees that I probably play more fighting games than you play a pretty decent amount of fighting games. But even if this had been interesting, it got trounced by a little
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
singing that.
Everyone's like, oh no.
Dragon Ball
They
Fighter
lost.
Z or Fighters or
Yeah,
whatever they're
Dragon Ball
calling
Fighter
it.
Z.
No, it looks infinitely better than whatever the hell this
Than
is
Infinite.
Be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch this get played at Evo.
No
He
pun
didn't catch
intended.
the pun.
I'm not-
It really
no.
wasn't intended.
No,
he
I phase
hates
him.
puns,
I
but he
phase
puns
him.
himself.
I can't handle it anymore. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, so that one can just stay right there.
I'm not gonna vote it
Not
up.
even touching it.
He's like Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, I am not gonna boost it.
I'm not gonna play it.
I'm a big Marvel MCU movie fan, and Netflix. Not so much ABC, but or comics.
If Jessica Jones was in it, I'd play it.
I kind of have
Jewel.
interest, but not that much. And I'm not gonna boost it.
Okay. So what is the current
I
order?
would say yes, it
So-
would go above Assassin's Creed, but I'm not gonna boost it.
So our current order is in first place Ni no Kuni 2, in second place Assassin's Creed Origins, and in third place Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Whole lot of AAA sequel games here. Very innovative.
Yeah.
But you.
Well,
can-
hang on,
but
Ni no Kuni 2.
But you can use
It's
your.
a sequel to a original.
Oh well,
IP.
there's an example right there of a AAA. Although it's
is
Pokemon.
really
Yeah, it's
AAA?
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It is AAA.
Yeah.
It is AAA.
man,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed
It's,
really
level-
original. You
was
can
it level
use your
5?
hawk to look at people.
No.
Level
dude.
5's considered AAA.
Oh
aren't they?
yeah, and it's isn't it Square? No, who's publishing?
Square-
Namco? Is it Namco Bandai?
Oh, I thought it was Square.
I don't think it's.
Anyway,
Yeah.
next one.
Man, this list is terrible. Look, oh God.
I had to pick some stinkers.
Call of Duty World War II. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Look,
I don't even care.
you're gonna get a lot of comments from the Call of Duty crowd.
Call of Poopy World War II.
Yeah, whatever. I have nothing to talk about for Call of Duty. It is just that irrelevant in my life.
I would rather just go back and play Call of Duty 2.
That was a
That
great
was
game.
such a good game.
It's a great game.
Yes.
What? Okay. You know what? What if they tap into that? What if they can tap into the Call of Duty 2?
I don't know. I've been watching the trailers on it. I mean, yeah, it's cool that they're getting away from the modern a little bit, trying to do something new, but they're still doing that like weird obsessive thing that they've gotten into where they're like, we're gonna digitally capture real actors, and I don't. It's like it's about like this particular squad, and it's missing what I think. From what I've seen in the trailers, makes World War II so much more interesting. It's like, this isn't about some elite squad in World War II. It's like, no, you are just this soldier among hundreds of thousands that threw themselves in this brutal war, like Normandy. I mean, those missions were brutal in Call of Duty, and you didn't feel like you were special. You were just like, I'm trying to survive, right? Like, that's the more they got into the spec opsy, like, oh, you're cool and you're better than everybody else, the less it got interesting. I think that's part of what Call of Duty has lost. Like, I'm just a soldier trying to make it, man. Like, just get me through.
I think if they can do what DICE did with Battlefield 1, as far as they do try to make you feel like you're a badass, but at the same time, and it may not have been for every level because I think you did have names, but it was in that opening scenario.
Are you talking about the single player for Battlefield
Single player
1?
campaign.
Oh, okay.
Every time you died, it said something like "Rest in peace,
So-and-so,
Sergeant." Blah blah
yeah,
blah.
the
And then when you
prologue.
respawned, you were a different person.
Yeah, the
and every time
prologue.
you die, it would give you a different name at the end,
But,
which
like,
was a really nice touch.
DICE was really throwing forward sort of this was World War I. This is the war to end all wars. Like, it was just people were dying left and right, which kind of their single player kind of went against them because then they aggrandize it in the multiplayer. It's like,
True.
oh man, we're killing a bunch of people. But
well.
I mean, it was still interesting. I don't know if I would vote this up. I think I would actually rather play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite than Call of Duty. I'm not gonna vote it up.
Yeah, I don't care.
I think I actually would vote it above Marvel vs. Capcom.
But you're not going to.
Oh, I can't because if you
Well,
guys
we're
aren't,
not, but yeah, his
Oh.
vote.
and I'm not gonna boost
I mean,
it.
He's still
I'm,
saying
I'm holding my
he's-
boost for something good. I don't remember
This
what
is
the
unfair.
games
He
are.
knows like he
Well,
knows
I
this
know them,
list.
but I don't remember.
So,
All right, moving
we
on.
haven't changed anything.
We have
yet.
not.
All right.
Interesting.
We're
Yeah.
going straight to the top, baby. Super Mario
Yeah.
Odyssey.
Do we? Yeah.
Oh yeah, out of all of these, that needs to be number one.
Well, let's
Well, wait.
let's
do
go
it the
through
proper-
them one
let's
by
do it
one.
the proper way. Oh, Super Mario Odyssey better than Call of Duty
Yes.
World War
Yes.
II. All
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Up.
Yes.
Better than Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Okay. Better than Assassin's Creed Origins.
There's not even
Yeah.
a game there. It's just an empty blank space.
Oh, ho, ho. Ho, ho,
Okay.
ho.
I want to have a conversation here.
My vote is already determined, regardless of what's
Oh yeah,
said.
definitely. It's even with the love for Ni no Kuni too.
So you can't
like
win. But you
Oh
you're
no,
welcome to
I think
sway.
I would probably vote it up over Ni no Kuni too. Because we flew past those three so quickly.
Right.
I just wanted to make
Well-
sure everybody understands we got to stop and give Ni no Kuni some credit.
Yeah, I know.
Because the visuals look fantastic. I don't know much about the story, but if it was anything like the original Ni no Kuni, it's going to be a tearjerker potentially. It's going to pull on some heartstrings. The gameplay of Ni no Kuni I loved, and the music this is one of those games that might get into the 9s for me. I mean, Super Mario Odyssey is probably going to be a 10 out of 10, but clearly different from these other three. So I just had to just give it a little tap on the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
now we can put
But
it up above.
is there a game that is more of a must-play this year than Super Mario Odyssey?
We
We'll
will
have to
find
see.
out what
Yeah.
else is in the list.
We'll have to see.
Kind of hard, man. Like I'm like, this is more of a must-play for me when Switch got announced than Zelda was.
This is where boosts could be really funny because if something gets up beneath Super Mario and just one person wants it
Yeah,
up,
Halo
it could
style.
happen.
Oh, I wonder.
Jeez.
So now our order is Super Mario Odyssey, Ni no Kuni 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Call of Duty World War II. That's pretty fair to me.
Yeah.
I should start butchering the name. Nakuni.
Oh, come on.
Come on, you know more than that. You mispronounce like Blizzard names all the time. You know me. I'm kind of like a fascist for that stuff.
Saris
I'm
Danaris. Kinesiline?
Oh no, you used to Seathune.
Oh yeah,
From
Seathune.
Hearthstone. It's
This means
Cthulhu.
nothing.
And
to
I
me.
think I
Come
called
on,
it.
bro.
I think I called it Old Doom,
Uldum.
and it's Oldum.
Like,
I caught myself. If you watch
murdering my soul right
the
now.
Naked Lobby run,
Which is, you should check it out.
check it out.
I
Overtime video.
personally, I thought it was going to be kind of boring, but it was,
Oh,
it was pretty
thanks.
fun.
What a
Boring
vote of faith.
videos. This is what we
Hey,
do
look,
here.
Sean pitches some stuff that I'm not sure about. It always ends up being very good, so you should check it out. I would highly recommend, even if you've never played WoW, because it's kind of funny to watch him squirm
Die.
over it. Ooh, now we're getting into some good stuff here. Sonic Mania.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's coming
Yeah.
out real soon too, isn't it?
It comes out in August.
Next month. No, we're in July. Yes, next month.
Yeah,
August,
in
yeah.
July. Oh man, I don't even know what platform I'm getting it on. I can't
getting it on
decide if
Switch.
I'm getting it
I
on Switch.
might get it on Switch.
I
I'm
had
getting it on
that
Switch.
big, beautiful monitor though.
Yeah, but I don't need that. It's Sonic Mania. It's 2D beautiful
Oh,
art.
You filthy console
I
peasant.
don't
But you
need
can
it.
put your
filthy
Switch.
console
But
peasant.
you just hook the HDMI up to that monitor, and there
There
you
you
go.
go.
As
that
long
monitor's 1440p. It has to be able to output at 1440p.
the Switch can
No,
it
not
can't.
do
1080p.
that.
It'll be 1080p, but that's okay because it's
You're lucky if it's 1080p. Something just came out that it's only outputting at 720
Yeah,
even
well,
on desktop. What just came out?
I don't know.
Damn it! There's
But
there's
all
a
their
game
games
that
have been
even
1080p.
on even in
There's a lot of
desktop
Switch
mode,
games that
it's
can't
gonna be
hit
doing like
1080p,
720.
but that's
which is
okay.
Whatever, that's fine. But okay, Sonic Mania.
Yes.
We're
I've already
going-
got music from the game in my head because I've been listening to some of the leaked music, and I'll just put it
it's
on a loop.
great.
Oh,
It's so
man.
good.
like new music or just
Yeah,
like
for the game. Well,
yeah, they're
of
releasing a
course
lot
it's
of
for the game.
new stuff. It's interesting how Sonic is like rolling right now too with a brand new game and with Mania. I think that's smart on their part, but
Talking soundtracks of the year, this is gonna
That's
probably be a
potential.
contender.
Yeah.
that's so weird that we're even like doing that. But well, it is a good year for it. And some years I'd be like soundtrack. Come on, man.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good games.
There's always a lot of
Final
good
Fantasy
music.
15 could have had.
Oh,
or
it
could
was.
have been.
It was soundtrack of the
Was
year.
it really?
In a lot of circles, it was.
It was
Yeah.
so good, Yokoshima. Anyway, Sonic Mania. Yes,
It's above
beats Call of Duty World War
Yeah,
II.
all right.
yes,
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
All right.
yes.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna vote everything.
Can I
over
just not say
Assassin's
yes? Can I just not say anything when Assassin's Creed?
Creed. All right. I don't think you two are gonna do it.
Oh, this
Yes.
is.
Yeah, I
Wow,
want Sonic
no
Mania
hesitation.
over
It's
Ni no
It's
Kuni
going
2.
on up,
Oh
baby.
yeah,
'cause
oh
I'm
yeah.
not-
I
No
want. You
hesitation.
don't understand how much I want Sonic Mania. I grew up on Genesis, so I need
Genesis.
Sonic Mania.
This is this is a Genesis table.
Yeah,
right
it
here.
really
This
is.
a
The only
Sega-
non-Genesis
for our
that guy.
rampant UK viewers, because I know that we're big over there. Mega Drive, big Mega Drive table right here.
I'm not saying
okay?
you're wrong, but just the no hesitation,
None.
like get it
No.
past Nino Kuni.
It's Sonic Mania,
I
dude.
know, but it's
He's so
hard to
emotional.
compare these because it's like
You're
a
like the emotional one.
it's like an 8-hour. Actually, I don't know how long Sonic Mania is going to be. I'm just going to guess 8-hour
If
platformer
that.
versus like a 60-hour.
Yeah,
up.
but
You
play
can't
it-
compare
you'll
those.
play it like 95
You can't compare them
times.
in terms of like that.
Well, you
because they're
guys
two
voted it
different
up. I'm going to withhold my because I don't know what I would do.
It's going up.
and it's staying right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote it.
It's
over
not going
Super
over Mario Odyssey.
Although like
No.
Oh, I could boost it and
You
troll
could,
you
but I
guys.
mean, what do you? But is that how you really
I mean,
feel?
no, I would.
I know.
I would actually be tempted. Okay, so here's the thing, though. Like, I was raised on Sega more than I was Nintendo. Nintendo was something I got into later. So Super Mario. The reason I will not do that is because I in no way believe that Sonic Mania will be better than Super Mario Odyssey.
I
don't
think
think
it,
so either.
Sonic
Sonic Mania is 2D Sonic at its best potentially. Mario Odyssey is adding so many fresh ideas to the 3D formula that it's gonna stand out on its own. That's why I know it won't be better.
I
guess.
think Sonic Mania could. I feel Sonic Mania has a better chance of getting a 10 out of 10 than Super Mario does.
Really.
Barely. It's like on the line, but that's just like an internal gut feeling.
doesn't it have,
I'm not
like-
going to vote it up either.
Doesn't it have some 3D? It's got some of the new stuff in there, doesn't it?
No.
Nothing 3D. It's
No,
100%.
no, you're
purely
thinking
2D.
of Sonic
Here, no, not here.
Generations,
The new
Well,
one.
Forces, yeah.
For the brand new
Which is
one,
like,
yeah.
was it Sonic Generations, where they tried
would,
it out?
Would go between
They had
the
both.
two,
They
which
had
was
both.
actually
Well, you would play as old Sonic and the
Yeah,
100% 2D levels,
yeah,
and then new Sonic.
go,
is-
yeah.
This is
which
just-
was actually pretty good.
I like
mean, it was a
Generations.
much better game than a lot of Sonic is. Ooh,
Yeah.
talk about riding a roller coaster.
If this is the legit Sonic 4, which by the way, in the there's like an art trailer that they did for this game, and
Yeah.
they get to like an elevator that they have to go up, and it was like, and the numbers on the elevator were 1, 2, 3. K for Knuckles, and then instead of 4, because there is a Sonic
Yeah,
4,
there is.
it's just M for Mania.
That's
so it's
amazing.
like they're like completely ignoring 4 and
Nobody
saying
liked
this
4.
is the next game after Sonic
Yeah,
and Knuckles,
exactly.
which is fantastic.
Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles and the ability to plug that cartridge in.
Silly Sega Genesis ideas.
So tactile. There's so much cool stuff, and like having to use a cartridge to cheat, like do cheat code.
All right, Sonic
That's
Mania made
crazy.
it to number 2.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Well deserved.
Poor Sean.
No, I'm not voting
If
it up.
Danganronpa's in here, I'm gonna. lose
Danganronpa
my
is not
mind.
on the list. I tried
only-
to stick with like the big
I-
commercial.
I finally have a visual for it because like I think the second. What's the new one coming out? Is it 3?
Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony.
2 is on Steam sale right now, so I
Yeah.
finally actually saw.
If you have
images.
not
I
played
was like,
Danganronpa-
oh, wow, that's what Danganronpa looks like.
If you have not played
Dank and Rampa.
it, no, you got to play the first one before you play the second one. But the second one, one of the best games of all
I
time.
have no
Nice.
relevance. Hey,
If
how
you
we-
guys like Persona, it's basically Persona without the JRPG battles. It's a different sort of gameplay mechanic.
Are we good on the recorder right now? I just got.
Yeah.
Okay. We had that one.
Yeah,
that one day, I'm like, that freaks me out.
No, we're fine.
All right. Cool.
Edit
On to
that
the
out.
next one. On to the next one. On to the next one.
That's in a good place today.
Yeah, I know what it is.
What?
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
No.
You are wrong.
Oops.
Uncharted: The Lost
Spoiler
Legacy,
alert, Star Wars
baby.
Battlefront 2 is coming up later.
Man, you ruined my high. I hadn't even thought about it yet. Nah, this is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is essentially a standalone game / but you guys aren't as big Uncharted fans as I
No,
am.
These guys
love-
made fun of me so much, Onyx and Rudy, for not getting into Uncharted
Until he did.
until I
And
did.
then I was like, okay, good. He's on.
They
I
fought.
see,
That's rare because most people who didn't get into it.
Actually, it
don't
was
get me wrong,
Sony.
Most people who didn't get into it are like, they can never do it because that first game is rough. And Uncharted until 4 has not had the best third-person shooter mechanics. Like it's gotten
Uncharted
much
2 is
better.
like
Uncharted
practically
was great,
perfect.
though.
But as a third-person shooter mechanic game, it's not.
At a time of
At
release,
the
it
time,
was
yeah.
fine. Yeah,
Anyway,
It's real loosey-goosey, and enemies take a ton of it. Like most people,
But that's always
admit
been the
that
case,
They
though.
care about this. Yeah, I know, but that's the thing is, as a base third-person shooter game, Uncharted is underwhelming. It's got great story and these incredible cinematic moments, and
I agree.
that's why people play it.
To be honest,
you would never care if it was just like, oh,
Dude,
I'm just shooting people in
No,
AK.
I play it for the yellow bricks that I climb up all over the place.
And that's what I was gonna say before we get into this.
Little Half-Life guidey.
Uncharted 4 really, I liked the game, but it was nothing to write home about. It looked beautiful. The combat was much more refined. It had way too many. It was how do I say this?
There were a couple slog moments.
And they hit hard. Those slow moments, like it built up on this hype, and then like I don't expect the game to be all hype,
Right.
But the low moments were just too boring, too much climbing,
Spending an hour climbing cliffs in Scotland.
I
I know what you think about Scotland.
Yeah,
but
which is fine. No, it looked beautiful. Like it was intriguing,
It
but
didn't
it just
bother me, man. I don't
was-
know. Maybe
yeah.
because so of the three of us, I might be the only one who owns the HD update collection for Uncharted and played all of them through right before 4 came out. So I experienced all of them and then went and played 4. And I got to tell you, 4 it's real close. Like if you took it back and you remade it as Uncharted 2's like technical specs, 2 would be much better. But I think it probably is better than 3. 3 has a lot of issues.
absolutely. Yeah,
But I don't know. I loved it. I loved just taking it in. I didn't care about the slow bits. I was like, give me more, man. Just let me be. Like, let me exist with Drake and all this. I don't know. It just would work for me. I'm not gonna hate on anyone. I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
Yeah, well, so I think the real question is, does Uncharted: The Lost Legacy beat Call of Duty World War II?
it beats Call of Duty for me.
It's
Oh, I don't like your hesitance already.
well,
I don't like this, Onyx. You're getting real
we'll
weird
get
on
there.
me today.
We'll get there.
Like you can already tell where it's gonna be if you know where.
I already
I'm
know
at.
where you're gonna put it.
Yeah.
You're
Marvel.
wrong.
Okay, does it go above Marvel versus Capcom?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. Well, you
Well,
said we didn't want to talk
yeah,
about Assassin's Creed. I think we all agree it goes there.
Right there. That's for me. This is where I end. Right there.
I'm voting it up. It's going up.
Oh boy, so I'm the tiebreaker.
Sadly enough, I'm just after 4. I'm just kind of done with Uncharted. I want to see more of Chloe for sure. I love her character, but
I think this has the potential to be even better than the vanilla Uncharted.
it could be. It could be. It really could be.
What you just said is exactly what I'm thinking. Uncharted 4 ended. It ended very well.
It did. It did.
Mentally, I'm out. I'm done with
Yeah.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
And then this came, and it's like a female-led Uncharted cast.
Yeah.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is great. Chloe's coming back. We finally get to do stuff with her.
Do stuff.
Drake already did.
Okay. I just
I think everybody did in that game.
Oh no.
I love
What?
Chloe.
you could. Never,
Moving on.
No, the end of the
You
end
could
of,
Mass
the-
Effect
the-
Chloe
the,
and-
the, nah, the
and
end of,
Uncharted
at the,
2?
At the end of 2, when like he's standing there with Elena, and then God, what's I always want to just call him Bruce Campbell because he's just Bruce Campbell to
Sully?
me. Yeah, Sully.
Oh.
When Sully's like, "Where'd ya?" and he like walks off after, it's like, "Oh, you dirty old dog, you!" Like, come on.
Anyway,
Yeah. but-
damn, missed it. Damn, got it.
I know.
Oh, I
no,
think
you
I got
didn't.
it.
Nope,
think
it's over there.
I'm interested to see what they do with the story, but I don't think I'm interested to play it. So I think I would also leave it there. So now,
Good choice.
So now, Matt, are you
Do you
gonna
boost
boost
or
it?
not?
Are you gonna use a boost?
You already told me that Battlefront 2's in here, and you guys aren't gonna vote it high enough. So
4th place is a good place, man.
So far,
I
there's-
just don't have any. I
there's
wouldn't.
5 more games
I
to go.
probably wouldn't. I don't know. I might even put it above Sonic Mania.
You're nuts.
I love Uncharted, dude.
You're crazy.
I don't care. Maybe I am.
Oh, what's it? I grew up on Genesis. What happened to that?
So
It's Uncharted.
that doesn't mean that Sonic has a legacy of excellence.
He does.
No.
Sonic has a legacy of being dragged through a sewer. Like, give me a
Poor Sonic.
break. I mean, I love you, Sonic, but come on. Like, there's been some bad games. Oh, I don't want to smack the table. It was right there.
It's fine.
I mean, you can leave it there. You'll be okay. 5 more games.
I don't have any investment in this, but it's fine.
You can do what you gotta do, man.
I'll leave it there.
I
I'll
think
leave it
Star
there.
Wars is gonna do pretty well.
I'll leave it there. It's
Okay.
fine. I might regret it later, but to have it touching Assassin's Creed bothers me. So right now our list is Super Mario Odyssey, Sonic Mania, Ni no Kuni 2, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origin, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Call of Duty World War II. I feel like Assassin's Creed should just be at the bottom of this list.
Yeah.
Well, second to last maybe.
Yeah.
I'd play it over. No.
Eh,
It is what it is.
All right.
I am crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I see
I'm
that.
the crazy one.
I see
You're
that,
the
Matt.
emotional one. You're
awesome
the.
And moving on to the next game.
Rodolfo's the soft spoken one.
There's gonna be some editing.
Oh.
There's gonna be some editing in this video.
No, there's not.
No, he doesn't edit crap. He's like, you want to edit it out? You want to bleep out F words for YouTube videos? Whatever. Destiny 2.
Destiny 2. It's gonna be this game's destiny to not get very far. On
Oh,
this
you guys
list.
are. Come on.
I would vote it above Call of Duty.
I will absolutely vote it above Call of Duty.
Sure.
Well, it doesn't matter. Your vote didn't matter.
I mean-
this would get way more interesting if we. Oh God, how would we do this with 4 people?
What?
This
We'd have a lot of ties.
Very quickly.
tiebreakers, yeah, I guess.
Oh,
No,
oh,
4
I see what
people,
you're
4
saying.
people,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
we'll
it's
we'll
Samsung.
cross that bridge when we get to it.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
See, Destiny 2 is just Destiny. Despite its flaws, was a fun game.
That's
I
what I
had
hear.
fun playing it, so I know it's gonna. Yes,
Well,
it would go above Marvel vs.
Look,
Capcom for
think
me.
of it this way: 2 years worth of getting it to where it had to be a game that almost died because they had major writing issues and had
Yep.
to revamp the whole thing for a year.
Yep.
And the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears that they have poured into it to make it the game that it needed to be. And Destiny 2, for all intents and purposes, like releasing on Blizzard, being a PC game finally, like it looks resetting but also rewarding the persistent players. I think Destiny is going places. Like I think it's going to continue to do really well because it's still the only example of what it does.
Until Anthem comes out,
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm more hyped for Anthem. But so we're going above Marvel vs. Capcom, right?
I'd say yep.
We're-
Yep, Assassin's Creed.
The one we shall not mention.
Nope, I'm done.
Oh yeah, I also wouldn't put it above Uncharted.
And that's saying
No,
something.
probably
That's
not.
our
Say something.
reception to Uncharted.
I'm probably. It's funny though because I know a lot of people are gonna play. I'm probably gonna play it because I have a friend who just bought a GTX 1080 Ti, so he's getting it free anyway. And I'm like, oh, it's a co-op multiplayer game that I can play with him on PC. So I could regret that because I could get hundreds of hours out of Destiny 2 and very little out of Uncharted. But I'd leave it there.
Okay, good.
All right. Oh, how many we got left?
4.
4. Oh.
Star Wars. Yeah. Oh, good. I didn't want that to be one of the last ones.
There's a lot of 2s on this list, man.
I say yes, above Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It looks like
And
they're doing
Marvel.
a lot of things right with this. I think this is going to go far.
Oh, yeah.
Above Call of Duty, above Marvel.
Oh, I proposed something. Most of these are probably going to go above these last 3, so let's just bump it up under Destiny 2.
Well, okay.
Formality.
Yeah.
Oh, Destiny. You're saying over Destiny 2?
Oh, yeah, I think he's saying jump to here,
Okay.
so we don't do.
I mean, I'm voting it up.
And I am voting up
Yes.
over Destiny 2. And that's where it stops for me.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Do you want me to keep the suspense going? Because I know you want to
I
vote
mean,
it
you
up.
already know where I'm going.
I would vote it above Uncharted.
Thank you.
And this is where it stops for Sean. Devin.
Oh, this is tricky.
Oh, see, I don't know what it's left in here.
Yeah.
Oh, no. The writhing.
I mean, I want to see the campaign. It looks like they learned a lesson with their multiplayer,
Yeah.
but I really want Ni no Kuni.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, for the audience, our beloved Rudy is currently asking us if we finished yet.
Is that why my phone keeps
Yes,
going
he's
off?
Yeah.
in suspense. How's it going, guys? Did you finish?
No, Rudy, we have not.
Rudy, no. We're not done. Wheat not done. I have notorious problems spelling on Slack. Rudy, we're not done. Sent. You just saw this in the future.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna let you boost it
If you want.
if you want.
It's boosting 1 for sure.
Whoa, that was a no hesitation.
There you go.
So now, for the sake of argument, would you rather play Star Wars over?
I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd leave it there too.
Yeah, it's fine
So-
where it's at. I can see the hype.
You can boost it if you want. You can make it number 2 on the list, but you won't have any more boosts.
Yeah, but you guys are saving your damn.
I honestly, I don't. Final Fantasy Tactics isn't on this list, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna boost.
What else could be on this list?
Honestly,
find out.
I don't even remember.
Double boost.
Okay. Didn't see that coming.
Oh man!
Did not see that. You're done, dude. You're done with the boost. So this is pretty much your double boost. Like this is like your must for the year
Battlefront 2.
as of now.
Okay, so if Destiny 2 is supposed to be a vast improvement, Battlefront 2 is the game. Like, Battlefront is the prologue to me. Battlefront 2 needs to be the first game in years that I will sink all the hours into. That is my hope.
Okay.
They brought all the eras back. They're giving me a single-player campaign that bridges the gap in current content. You're getting to play as, like, an Imperial Spec Ops trooper who's a chick. It's hitting all my checklists, man. Like, it's everything. And Star Wars is...
I know you like Star Wars.
It's like DC, Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I don't show it, but I waited 12 hours in line to be, like, the first person into the IMAX theater for Episode 7, okay? I am devastated that they're doing reserved seating for Regal now. I love it. So
Okay.
I may regret that in a moment.
All right, 3 games.
3 games.
And I remember all 3 of them now.
Huh. Crackdown 3.
Got to get some Microsoft on this list, right?
I like it. We were all hyped. We all hyped this, didn't we? On our Hyper Wipe pre-E3 special.
I can tell you.
The Notebook comes
I think we all
out.
hyped it. Yeah, pretty sure we
I think
did.
it was a unanimous hype. Or maybe it was a
for
3 out of
Crackdown
4.
3?
Yeah, maybe it was a 3 out of 4.
There were 3 hypes.
Who was the wipe?
Probably
Rudy.
Rodolfo, yeah.
That's why he's in Europe. I don't even know what that means.
Forgive him, Rudy. He knows not what he says. Well, it's definitely. So are we?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh my God! Get the hell out of here! Wait, which one? You are not telling me you're more excited for Assassin's Creed than Crackdown 3.
I'll let it slide. It's fine.
Did you
He's
watch
lost a
any-
lot of hype.
did
I don't
you
think
even
he's gonna
watch any
yeah.
of the gameplay. Looks so awesome.
If I have to pick between Destiny 2 and Crackdown 3,
It's staying there for me.
I think I would
Oh,
pick
you guys
Destiny
are
2.
wrong.
It's staying there for me.
I really would.
No, come on. Okay, you come home from work. You want to sit down and just play something fun that gives you no obligations. Just pure video game fun. The
I'll
kind
play
that we
Overwatch.
don't get anymore.
I'll play Overwatch.
Yeah, you'll play Overwatch, but
See,
he won't.
this is Saints Row for me.
And you have seen
And Saints Row and Agents of Mayhem is coming out later this year also, which I don't know if I would even get that.
Crackdown 3 looks better. You can
Probably.
you can
It's probably gonna
you
be a
can
better
shoot-
I'm not
game.
saying it's going to be a
You
bad
can
game.
shoot black holes at things, and it's gonna be so fun.
In
It's
Saints
just gonna
Row,
be-
you can shoot some X-rated things.
Yeah,
at people.
well, I don't care.
Different kinds of holes.
Saints Row has just filled a gap. Okay, it's overrated.
Literally speaking.
Get out of here.
I'm leaving it there. I am
Really?
leaving it
I
there.
would leave it there too.
I can't believe.
And
you're actually
somebody
more
is
Use
right.
all
your
the
boost,
best.
so it's
Oh
staying
no!
there,
I
buddy.
mean, whatever. What I find ironic is that they're leaving it ranked here, and they won't play either of these freaking games. Actually, you're
Destiny
both
2?
You're both more likely to buy Crackdown 3 than you are
No,
Destiny 2.
no.
absolutely not. No
Nope.
way. I have my brother
Not in
who
a million years.
loves this
Crackdown,
game.
the first Crackdown was phenomenal. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. I didn't care for the sequel, and there are so many other games now that do similar stuff that I don't need it.
You know, we're gonna get freaking Destiny on console too.
I mean, Spider-Man's
Yeah.
coming out next year.
Plebs.
I'll wait for Spider-Man.
I can get it on PC. I just don't want to.
They're
even
gonna
not
it's-
even comparable.
yeah,
Get
it's
outta
close enough.
here.
Whatever.
You're wrong.
Moving on.
Oh, Mario. Actually, I would probably be the one to boost this one too. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I'm
Okay.
very.
I like how you
excited
just
for
put
this
it right
game.
here above Assassin's Creed.
Well, we know where it's gonna be.
It goes above Crackdown for me.
It definitely goes above Crackdown as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying it.
I'm gonna put it above Destiny 2.
I would agree with
I
that.
would as well. I would put it above Uncharted.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but I would. I think I would agree. That presentation was great.
It was really well done. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited.
I'm
for this one.
hoping but part of the unfair advantage here is we're all like we're itching for Switch material, right? Like we want more things. I want that. Just walk around and play
I
it.
know where this is gonna. I have an idea.
You guys are gonna end it right here. I know you are.
No, I'm putting it above Nino Kuni 2. Yep.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised.
It's Mario, kid. I love Mario.
I kind of want to put it above Ni no Kuni, but at the same time, XCOM just rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, I'll save you the pain. XCOM is fantastic, and it's going up.
I knew it. That's right. I knew it.
That's
This
fine.
is where it's ending for
I've
me.
sunk so many hours into XCOM and
It
XCOM
can't.
2.
Yeah, I would not vote it above Sonic Mania.
Yeah, I'm leaving it right there. That's perfect.
I'm okay with where it's ending up.
I would probably go, but
You can't.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd boost it, but I would probably vote it.
Yeah.
Should we do one last
We're gonna do a
read
read
of the list?
So, as it stands, our current rankings are Super Mario Odyssey, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Sonic Mania, Mario and Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, Uncharted, The Lost Legacy, Destiny 2, Crackdown, 3. Assassin's Creed Origins, Marvel vs. Capcom, Infinite. God, talk about subtext. Like, there's so many title, subtitle. Call of Duty World War II, which, God, what a boring name. This one better. This is not going to be as.
What would you? Okay, random guesses. What do you guys think the last game would be?
I honestly have no idea. I'm looking at this list.
Man.
I'm like,
I'm bad at keeping up with what's been.
There are so many games. By the way, if the game that you've been waiting for this year is not on here, I apologize. There were a lot, but I didn't want to make this a very, very long segment.
Probably not, but you didn't put anything else in this genre on there because there's not anything else in this genre coming out that I know of. It's not Evil Within 2, is it?
It is not the Evil Within 2.
Okay.
Is it even coming out this year?
Yeah, it's coming out.
Yeah.
It's like in a month or two.
never mind.
It's coming out quick. That's another one that if I
I
won,
think it comes out in
was gonna make you
October.
guys play.
October 14th or something like
October.
that.
Oh yeah, because no, it's Friday the 13th.
October 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's this last game?
No more guesses.
No. I want to see.
Oh.
Close.
This is
But
a
no
good one to
scar.
finish on. It won't get that high. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus.
Okay.
Did you play the first one?
I did.
You played the first one?
Never finished.
I have
but
not
did.
played Wolfenstein,
Ah.
but I know of its reputation, and that trailer looked fantastic.
Yes, it did actually.
Very good.
I know exactly where it's going for me.
Is it going above Crackdown 3 for you?
Yes.
What happened for you?
It's hard for me to judge this one because I don't have very much attachment to Wolfenstein. If I had to pick between the two of them, like you only get $60 for the rest of the year, buy one of these, it would be Wolfenstein.
I might have more fun with Crackdown though. Like, frankly, I have still yet to finish the first, like,
Wolfenstein.
not the first Wolfenstein, but like the most recent Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
It is a good game, but man, like story-driven first-person shooters just don't grab me. I haven't finished Doom either, and that's not even that story-driven.
That's the key word for me, story. That's the most important piece of a game for me.
Right. And
Crackdown 3 is
has
not going to have a good
less,
story.
Yeah, but I almost like that appeals to me in this situation. Where I'm like, I just kind of want to like get in and blow stuff up and take out crime lords and just go up. Like I want the mechanical side of it. I'm like, let's take out all these gang leaders and do all this cool stuff. But I assume you're voting it up.
Yeah, I'm voting it above
Okay,
too.
so it's going up.
I'm voting it above that.
Above
I would
what?
say he's not.
Destiny
I don't
2.
know if he's gonna go above Destiny 2.
I would also vote it above Destiny 2 because the story still looks like garbage. Sorry, no offense, but those trailers were just like, and we've got loot. It's like I don't want to play this game. I know that's just one character in the grand scheme of things.
And here's the thing: is like they're having to rewrite that story as they go. They just admitted that the darkness, the main enemy at the end of like the initial single player campaign, they didn't really know what the hell it was. They were like, "This just got to be an excuse for all these alien races." And apparently now they are actually like, "We're gonna get into it more. Like we're gonna finally do it." I'm like, "Yeah, but."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Combat Evolved's got the best story. Like Halo was not known for having like an amazingly innovative story anyway.
But it was
like,
a really good story,
hang on.
though.
Halo 1?
Yeah, he's like Combat Evolved. Halo
it was
1.
good, but it wasn't like crazy innovative.
It presented a lot of ideas in very unique ways. The idea of these aliens
I would agree with that,
being like the Covenant, a bunch of different alien races.
My only point is that Bungie is not known for being a story studio. Not the way the next one that you guys are going to vote on, Uncharted,
I disagree.
is.
Dude, think about this for a second. Halo spawned a ton of novels. How many Uncharted novels are there?
Yeah,
Uncharted presented...
Bungie doesn't write the damn novel.
That doesn't matter. What I'm saying is they presented a universe in such a way that it was like...
Because you presented a universe doesn't mean that you make a good story. It means you created an interesting universe.
And Halo had a good story, though.
Halo's lore...
Yeah. And you can't say lore doesn't count either because then
Well,
the Soul series
I'm not
wouldn't
gonna-
count.
I'm not-
Lore
say
lore
doesn't
counts,
count.
but it doesn't count in some instances. Like
Yeah.
No, I
we're,
think
we're going
Bungie-
off the side here.
We
But
are.
like
Yeah.
Overwatch does not have a story. There is no story in that game. There's tons of lore, no story. Halo
Not in the
has.
game.
If you
Not in the
read
game.
the Fall of the Fall of Reach, is it? No,
It is a Fall of
is
Reach.
that the name of the
Yeah.
book? My gosh, I can't remember. The Fall of Reach, and then the Flood. I think is what
I
the
think
second
so.
book was
Which
called.
expanded on.
Which expanded on
Halo.
the actual Halo game. And then you go back and play Halo, you will see a lot of the references from the book in the game. So they hid some stuff in there.
Yeah, by
But-
that logic, they could come out with Overwatch novels.
They do. They have
Yeah.
Overwatch comic books that expand.
Well,
on
But
it.
yeah,
Halo had a
but-
story though. Like it had a narrative.
It does.
Yes.
I'm like, look, my only point is I don't think of Bungie as the story game developer. The reason Bungie did so well is because Halo felt so amazing. They
Yeah, the
brought
gameplay was
the first-person
king,
shooter to the
but-
console in a way.
But like the Flood too. Like
It- On a mass crowd level scale, I think I would agree with you. But for me personally, the story was so key for me in Halo.
It was.
That's why I read all the novels.
The ring, like the ring world,
I,
like
I
oh,
like
come on.
I got on Halo.bungie.org.
what
I
they
think
did
is what
with the
it
what I'm
was.
saying, like what they did with the ring worlds. Like the ring world was yes the Halo, but like what did it do? It destroyed the food supply for the Flood because the Flood were this parasite. I mean, it's just
It destroyed all sentient life. It destroyed all life in the galaxy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the food supply of the Flood.
yeah.
Like
okay,
it's
fine. So we'll give it Combat Evolved, and then after that, it's garbage.
Well, Halo,
What? Halo 2 expanded
no,
on that
No,
with-
Halo 2 was garbage, but Halo 3.
no Halo 2's gameplay and like the way it did it might have been garbage, but the story was not.
No,
yes,
the
it
game
was.
great.
The
story
whole
was
democracy,
bad.
like,
No.
like their whole covenant, like
No.
governmental system expanding
okay.
upon.
I had a
that,
plan
like-
for Halo 2 and they screwed it up. Anyway,
You
we're,
had a-
we're going we're
Yeah, we're
going
off the rails.
really off the rails here.
Halo, all the further Halo games did was explore that universe more. They just expanded the lore. They never
that's-
moved the story forward in a compelling
That's
way.
Okay.
In Halo 2,
Anyway,
Joe
anyway.
Staten
Yeah.
was referring to Halo 2. This is going to be a galactic romp from one place to the next. Everything that they promised in Halo 2 that they didn't deliver on, I think they took those ideas and put them into Destiny because Destiny was that galactic romp.
Oh, okay.
I remember a lot of this stuff because I
Right,
was
but none
really
of
into
it,
the
none of
community
it
back then.
really. There was no good reason.
Well,
for
the
any of
Destiny
it.
story was
Yeah,
terrible
they-
too.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
Yeah.
we're good. So
Sorry.
it's over. You guys voted it over Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncharted: The Lost
if I had to-
Legacy.
Just thinking, what you can play one of these two games for the rest of the year, and that's it.
It'll be Uncharted, so it's staying there for me.
I would pick Wolfenstein.
Oh my!
Oh, it's down to me. It's down to me.
It's not even $60. Uncharted is $40.
I don't care how much it is.
Like it's even cheaper.
I
And you're
think
gonna
I
get
would.
quality writing.
Story wise, I'd be more interested in Wolfenstein because Uncharted I feel is going to tread the same.
Hasn't-
You know what?
hasn't
You
played
know
Indiana
what?
Jones
You
ground.
know what? You're right. Actually, I'm voting. Get that Uncharted out of my face.
You guys haven't even.
Oh,
you
wow,
didn't play
I
the first
convinced
one,
him.
You haven't even. Oh my god.
It doesn't matter.
I put a bunch of hours into Wolfenstein. I never
Yeah,
finished it, but I
maybe
put a
you
lot.
did. You haven't
on.
even played it.
I haven't, but watching the trailer and seeing some of the beats
Yeah.
of the story.
Actually, yeah, you
The
changed my
s-
mind.
The story's not even that interesting. It's just cool.
But the
like-
idea of like Nazis winning and like making the whole U.S. like their
But
playground.
again, that's
like,
not a narrative.
It doesn't matter. The
I'm-
setting that the gameplay is giving me is so unique. Uncharted is going to be
That's
more.
fine. That's fine.
Like
but
Uncharted, that's a good.
I know
point,
they're
though.
not all the same studios, but when I think of Bethesda and I think of what they did with Doom and I think of what they did with Prey,
Well, it was Arcane, but
I know they're
Yeah, it's
different,
Arcane.
but it's Bethesda
Look, I'm
Publishing.
fine with
Yeah,
you
yeah.
voting it up,
I'm
but
there.
don't vote it up on narrative when that's not what you're actually voting it up on, because that's not the truth.
well,
It's
but
not
but
gonna
still,
have
this
more
is a new, this is a
interesting-
different game though. Like it might do narrative better than the first Wolfenstein because now they have a,
Yeah,
a
but
better
that's not why you're
basis to
voting
go
it up.
off.
You're
Of.
voting it up because it's cool to go like, oh, the Nazis won the war, and I'm a
That's part of the narrative.
a Nazi killing blonde.
Look, when you
blue-eyed
walk
Jew.
into the Angel's Diner and you're there for a milkshake, or the Nazi guy comes in for a milkshake and he starts talking to you like, hey, what are you doing here? Whatever it was in the trailer. I was
Yeah.
like, I was feeling some tension. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I didn't feel any tension watching any of the Uncharted stuff.
No.
It's
Yeah,
just
but-
more of the same.
Because there's not going to be much tension to be had from Uncharted. They're all going to make it out fine.
But that's
you
not
know.
that's not narrative. That's atmosphere.
I don't know if I can agree.
Yeah,
with that.
well, anyway,
Moving on. We can have a discussion.
I
in
don't
our
know.
podcast.
I'm. This is where I kind of get stuck.
It's stopping there,
Yeah, I think I can't.
and
Yeah.
you have no boosts.
Well, I don't care. It would have ended like down here for me. I mean, I'm sure it'll be great, but when I play it, I didn't buy Wolfenstein until it went on super sale
Yeah,
for like
same
$15,
here.
and I still have only played probably about 7 hours of it.
So it made it to the top 6.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Top half.
So, our final. Oh God, I'm not gonna do that because that could get them mixed up. Our final list Super Mario Odyssey, duh. Star Wars Battlefront 2, incredibly happy with where that ended up. Sonic Mania, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, very happy with where that ended up. Ni no Kuni 2, Wolfenstein 2, Uncharted The Lost Legacy, Destiny 2, Crackdown 3, Assassin's Creed Origins, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Call of Duty World War II. There is not a single non-sequel game in this list.
Where's my Yakuza
Except
Kiwami?
for, well, actually, no, for Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Where's my Yakuza Kiwami?
I almost put Yakuza Kiwami on here. There were a lot of games. I didn't include.
Zodiac Age.
Is that the
either.
original one coming up?
I didn't include Zodiac
Yeah,
Age.
remake of the
I didn't
first.
include the Pokemon games. I didn't include the Evil Within 2. I didn't include Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Well, that one's not even-
Forza Motorsport 7.
There's plenty of
Cuphead was not on this
How do you
list.
not put Cuphead on here?
There were a lot, but I just said let me try to stick to the bigger titles.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
Pretty happy with that.
Very
I think you guys
cool.
are a little wrong on some of them, but it's
of
okay.
course, of course.
Well, I think you're a little wrong on most of them. But speaking of things that you guys are not wrong on, so let's move on to our forecasting segment.
Hey.
Okay, so let's talk about last podcast forecast first.
The last podcast's forecast.
Okay, so on the last podcast, we asked the question, how many of the following games will appear at an E3 press conference with some sort of related visual media? I don't know why we had to get that specific.
You just wanted to be.
I was trying to be, yeah. This can be something as simple as a logo, or it could be concept art, screenshot trailer, or a gameplay demo. And the 8 games, oh, good grief.
I mean, I remember most of
I
them.
think I remember most of them too. The 8 games were on this
We
side
had
of the
Evil
paper.
Within 2,
Well,
Forza.
hang on. So there was the Evil Within 2, Forza Motorsport 7. By the way, those were the only 2 that showed up from this list. Dragon Age Inquisition 2, a new Splinter
Which
Cell.
they did just say there was a Dragon Age in the works.
They said there's a new Dragon Age in the works. They're looking at Splinter Cell as well.
Literally.
They just missed the train.
Bloodborne 2, which is happening. They're saving it for PSX.
Sure.
It's coming. Animal Crossing Switch, you know that's coming
Eventually
too.
it will come. For
I was
sure.
actually surprised by that. Yeah.
A new Devil May Cry, I think we'll see that at PSX.
I don't think so.
And a new BioShock. So
Capcom
those were the
hates
8 games. And they Take-Two said, I think it's Take-Two, right? Take-Two Interactive or 2K or whoever.
2K.
They said BioShock is not done. There's going to be
Oh,
more BioShock.
2K.
But just nothing has shown up. So there were only 2 games.
Oh, and I would like to point out, go back to the recording, ladies and gentlemen. You listen to that podcast, you watch that video. Matt Mann chose 3 and said right before revealing it, I was so tempted to go with 2, but just to be safe, I'm going 3. I could have had it. Could have had it. I should have stuck it out, man.
So I went with 6. I was way off. I was disappointed
Right before
from this
the
E3.
Sony press conference, I'm still gonna win. We're gonna get.
I know. Well, if Sony played their cards like they had previous E3s, I think we would have seen at least one more title. At least one.
I thought we were gonna get 3. I
But-
really did. I was like, once we got those first 2, because those first 2 came out early.
Pretty much like the first 2 days.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, we can actually. This
Yep.
could be rough.
Anthem screwed up Dragon Age. Anyway. So I went with 6. Rudy went with 5. And the 2 of you went with 3. Thank goodness it wasn't 4, because if it was 4, all 3 of you would have gotten a point. But
kinda
because it
got
was
it
not
too.
4, because it was 2, you each get a point,
Hey.
making our total tally. Onyx and Matt both have 2 points. Rudy and myself both have a big fat 0.
Good luck catching up, guys.
There's still like 5 or 6 podcasts to go in the year.
You
So
know what's funny too is the first one we did with Persona, because I had no knowledge on it. I just
Yeah.
kind of threw it out there. I wanted to say 0 initially, which is what you won with. So we could so easily be
I
a
know.
3-3-0. Oh no, I guess yeah, and it would be
Well, then it
you'd have to have
participated in one
picked
of them.
2 because the answer was 1.
no. But if we had both won that one,
Yeah, it would be.
it would be
You actually would have been. You would have been ahead.
yeah,
you'd be
I'd be
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, by a significant margin. Too.
By 1.
I won.
No, because you would have not gotten.
Oh, if you had won and he had lost.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You would have been up by 2.
Yeah, no, anyway,
So the winner of this
Hypotheticals.
stupid game that we play at the end of the year gets to choose a game that all 4 of us have to play, and we're going to do some sort of special let's play or panel discussion or something. I don't think
Yeah.
we've fully discussed that yet, but there will be some special content centered around a game of that person's choosing.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a tie, we'll have to figure out what that means. We'll figure that out later.
Play
Okay.
me in Smash.
So,
Oh, hell no.
for
Then
this,
you gotta play me in something else that I'll come up with.
There you
then.
go.
for this week's forecast, which Rudy's not here, so he doesn't get a vote. Sorry, man. That's what happens.
Hey, we love you, brother.
At the time of recording for the next All Hands podcast. So what we will do is when we are getting ready to talk about the result for this forecast, somebody will pull out their phone and look this up. At that time, what will be the average critic score on Metacritic for Splatoon 2? Now, we're probably going to have our next recording at least a week after the game comes out,
Yeah.
so it shouldn't fluctuate too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think reading it at the time of recording is going to be too big a deal.
No.
So we've all prepared our answers ahead of time. Who would like to go first?
I can show mine off. I played the first Splatoon, so I kind of have an idea of where this is going to go. 89.
89.
89.
Okay.
Not a 90. I think that because they're doing the whole releasing more content as they go along again, all the free DLC and whatnot, I think it's going to be better than the first one because it's going to have more content. It has that like horde-ish mode with the whole salmon thing, and the multiplayer is more of the same but better, and the single player looks to be like really cool too. So I think it's going to be like overall higher scoring. I just don't think it'll break 90 yet.
Concerned I went too low now.
Do you want me to go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I went with 86.
Oh, God, no. Mistakes were made.
The first game I think got an 81
Yeah.
average, and I think the user's average was 85.
Yeah.
It was 87 for
Was
users.
it 87?
Yeah, it was actually higher.
I don't know. I played the beta test fire, whatever, for Splatoon 2. I had fun, but I'm just wondering, are they going to be able to recreate the magic of the second one? Are there going to be any technical issues that cause it to not be...
The first one surprisingly
So great.
launched without any hitches. Like the servers were pretty good. No real issues like that. Yeah.
So 86. I feel like Matt hit between us.
No.
Maybe. No, I think he went lower.
Oh.
85.
Oh, no.
Well, because this motherfucker right here initially was like, he was like, 87. I was like, well, if he actually goes to that, I could go 86. And we looked at the first score because I didn't play Splatoon. I have friends who played it, and the original was at 81. And I was thinking, that feels like a decent bump. It looks like it's going to improve on the original game, but aren't they even? I don't know. I feel bad about that. I feel like I'm going to lose now.
Well, so
I basically
you've got the low end,
yeah, anything,
which is great.
Anything 85 or down, I win. But
And you have anything 88 and up.
I would. Be
Yeah.
I have
so
86
surprised.
and 87 are the
Yeah.
only two scores.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll see. Nintendo really
I don't
can
know.
do well, man.
That's a good spot for it, though. That's a good.
It's gonna
mid-tier.
be. I think there's like.
I think it's more
yeah.
likely to be 86 or 87 than it is to be above. Like, I mean, 88, 89 is also.
Well, you never
I know.
know.
The critics, if you look at all the reviews, they loved Splatoon's mechanics. They loved the story. They loved the single player. The only thing they didn't like was that it was lacking in content. So if they give that and then they improve on what... And Nintendo's good about that. Almost all their sequels that are direct sequels, not
Here's the
reinventions,
thing,
are
Sean.
really well done.
Here's the thing: is if I lose, that's fine. You go ahead and win. You take a point. I'm cool with
Thanks.
that. I'm cool with that.
I'm going to win this one.
I'll get out of here.
It's Nintendo.
This is the way I was with Injustice too, and I rubbed it in y'all's faces.
Yeah,
At least I'm admitting
but-
now. I'm like, I'm probably gonna
But
lose.
everybody's on the Nintendo train right now, on the Switch train. So
And Nintendo's doing good.
there could be, not to say there'd be bias against
No.
Splatoon 2 for the
I'm
better,
saying he
but
may be right. You guys thought I was crazy to go as high as I did on Injustice, and I was low on Injustice.
Yeah,
I
just
went
did it really
87 and it got an 89.
Yeah.
yeah.
He may very well be right on that. The problem is I knew in my gut because I was the only one who had played it. I was like, it's gonna be and he's got that same vibe going.
Yeah.
Man, I don't like it. I
The
don't like
worst.
it at
I
all.
almost put 87, but I didn't.
He's like the Splatoon whisperer.
All right. So that about wraps up this podcast. Definitely, again, want to say thank you to all of our subscribers, everybody
Yes.
watching. I didn't mention this to you guys yet, so surprise. thought we'd do something really cool this week. So if you stuck with us to the end and you are listening to this piece of the podcast, this is what we're going to do. In our next podcast, we are going to do a section called One-on-Ones. And that is going to be where we answer questions that you ask us. So if you are made it to the end of this podcast, please leave comments down below. Ask us any question you want, and within reason, we will attempt to answer it on our next podcast. I think in the future that might be something that we give to only certain fans if we end up doing paywall type stuff, but we're not doing any monetary stuff right now. So anybody that leaves a question, we're going to look at it, and we will review it in a one-on-one section of our next podcast.
Do they have any other way of asking those questions besides YouTube comments?
That is a great question. Yes. So you can follow us on Twitter at The Gaming Resumé. So leave us a tweet and with a question, and we'll answer it next time. We are also on Facebook. You can look us up, The Gaming Resumé. We have a website, gaming-resume.com. So find the post for this podcast and leave a comment there. YouTube, we've been getting a lot of feedback on YouTube, so we're reading all those comments as well. Mm-hmm. We are on LinkedIn, but yeah,
LinkedIn.
We more individual content to come. We're gonna keep this train rolling, guys.
We're gonna keep it rolling. We're so much awesome feedback from E3. This train ain't stopping.
Hey, besides questions for us specifically for the podcast, if you have ideas for things that you want to see from us that you'd be interested in, whether it's Let's Plays or us checking certain things out, we are so open to ideas right now.
Definitely.
So.
Absolutely. I think that's about it. That about wraps things up.
Okay.
It's a pleasure doing business with you, G.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care. See you next time.
Till next time.
Peace.
See you, Space Cowboy.
I've got to be the last one. Bye.
Later.
Damn it.
Cutting it there. Bye.
Oh, bye.
I gotta pee. I've been holding it for like 6 hours.
Good cast.
And that's where we're going to stop it. Like what you saw? Check out some of our other videos and be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest content. Thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.